Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon.
Salutations and greetings.
Back on camera for those of you not watching. You might want to check out our YouTube. For those of you that are new to the show, what we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. But first, Kamar's going to read off the new Patreons.
Hello, old listeners and new listeners alike. It's my pleasure to read off the new Patreons. And this week I had a small accident with my thumb where I cut myself.
Okay.
And I touched the email and I erased one of the Patreons, but I think I remembered his name.
You know, you could just go to deleted.
I couldn't.
Oh, my God.
This is some sort of severe thing. Anyways, I think I got it.
What an excuse to just get over.
New Patreon. Shout out to CS Pickle, which I think is my cousin.
Brian.
I've said that before, haven't I?
Yeah, I think
this
you
is
have.
like
I
a
don't think it's
deja vu
him, though.
moment. Shout out CS Pickle. If there's another, that's unbelievable.
What? CS Pickle?
Nicholas Burger. Nicholas.
It sounds like you are having a fucking
Nicholas
having a
Burger.
stroke? Are you
What
all
is
right?
going on?
Nicholas Burger. Shout out to the Patreons.
Nicholas Burger, thank you.
Followed up by Cody Landon. Come on down. That's the one I thought I deleted, but it's there.
Oh, there you
Cody,
go.
thank you so much for the support.
Shout outs to all y'all. Thanks so
And
much
thank
for
you to all the Patreons. And based on
Thank you all Patreons.
I think moving forward for the 30-year anniversary, I'm going to mandate the Patreon. Based on a success.
What does that mean to you, man?
If you are not a Patreon, you may refuse service to bars, gyms, events.
Put on by
This
us.
guy got vaccinated just so he could make that joke, make a living telling jokes like that.
But yeah, I mean, so if you are not a Patreon in the near future, you may not be able to do certain things you were used to doing.
Kamar's joking, obviously. If you're not a Patreon, you can continue to listen. Do
I
whatever you
will
want.
mandate it.
Sure. Kamar, how was your week?
It was a bummer of a week with R.I.P. Rest in Power, Norm Macdonald.
Yep.
That was a big kick in the pants.
Yep.
You know he passed, eh?
He was the one that told us.
I do. I'm just
Oh.
watching you struggle.
No, I
to
thought
get
you were
the
like.
words out.
I thought you had a look of a surprise on your face.
No surprise. I was aware.
And I don't know, man. I think it's a bigger loss than it even is now.
What was the joke you told me? His joke. I went to tell my wife today. I could not remember it for the life
The
of
gay
me.
roommate or the pedophile?
I don't remember the one that made me laugh.
Well, I think they both made you laugh. So one of them was a gay guy and his roommate are in the living room. And the gay guy says to his roommate, let's play hide and seek. And if you can find me, I'll suck your dick. And the roommate says, what if I can't find you? And the gay guy goes, I'll be behind the couch.
The best.
I'll be behind the couch.
But that was really.
Yeah, that was it.
It was a really bad shot. And I don't think the reverberations will be felt.
I was watching a whole bunch of Norm Macdonald clips and whatever.
Yeah.
So he gets really giant for a while, like enormous.
Swells up physically.
Yeah, that must be
The sickness,
as he's
some
getting
sort of
sick
treatment.
or some sort of treatment.
He did not look
exactly,
good in
yeah.
the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea he was sick. So,
I don't think anyone did.
I mean, some people did for sure.
No, he said he kept it from his family. So I have a tough time believing that anyone really knew. It seemed like a big shock throughout the industry as well.
And
The
he's
industry
just-
that I'm not in.
He's not the type of guy to do that.
Sad, that's for sure.
I
61.
mean,
Fuck.
there's the argument, make awareness for it, but
What kind of cancer was it?
I think leukemia,
leukemia apparently. Yeah.
Whoa.
which my uncle died of on Sunday.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
Condolences.
tough. Yeah, I lived with him for a year too, so I was close with him.
That's personal.
Very sad. Yeah, feel bad for my cousins, my aunt,
And I finished a really nice porch,
painting it, obviously.
and that was with this Croatian guy who's my offsider, and it was very, very fulfilling to kill it. You know what I mean?
Like you finished it in one day, is what you're saying? Or?
No,
Oh,
it took a
okay.
long time, but finished it and it looked really great and people were happy.
Gotcha.
Pretty slow week after the last couple weeks I've been having.
And what else?
That's about it.
That's it. The only things of note.
Well, that was on Friday, so.
I said it a second ago.
Yeah, I want him to.
Oh, well, everyone knows you're back on camera, so everyone knows what the fucking.
Oh, yeah, that was like Monday. That was
You sold out.
That was super cool, yeah.
Sell out.
I have no opinion anymore.
Do they kick you out of QAnon for that shit?
I haven't told him yet.
No.
Kamar, it's not that you don't have an opinion anymore. You made a choice, as everyone makes, right? You chose. You wanted. You care more about doing comedy.
It was funny, though, because I told the person, and I was like, yeah, we'll just keep this on the down low. Then I realized who I did it with.
He called me right away.
I know, and I asked him right away. I was like, did you tell him? I was like, what do you mean? I told everyone.
But why did you even need him? Like, they're fucking giving these things
I
away with
needed
like
him-
peanut butter sandwiches.
I needed him to do it so that I had an obligation to him that he did something for me and I'd be letting him down if I didn't show up. I just couldn't do it myself.
I understand that. Yeah, yeah.
I just couldn't. And I felt really crummy the next day then. Felt fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much par for the course, though.
So it seems like a normal process.
Which one did you get?
Not the good one.
Which one did you get?
Pfizer.
Pfizer. Oh,
Which
you
one's the
just
good
got
one?
fucked on
Moderna.
every
Moderna's.
regard.
I mean, reports are coming out that none of them will be good in 2 weeks. There you
AstraZeneca
go.
is the real good one.
Well, that's how it's called anymore.
Old technology.
They changed the names
Oh yeah.
of the vaccines.
Who gives a shit? I'm sure we're going to touch on all this
I saw
nonsense.
the most interesting thing, an article today.
How was your
where
week, Simon?
It was okay. Anyways,
I saw an interesting. Yeah, keep
interesting article about, so they're growing, or this is what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to grow vegetables with the vaccine in them. So you would grow a head of lettuce in your backyard that contained enough of a antidote, not antidote.
You have to hate this. Bill Gates owns all the farmland.
This
Now
is you. You can grow your own shit.
Okay.
I guess too, though, that means that they're going to want to sell you vaccine rich foods.
Sounds like a good idea.
Well, I mean, you can see where it's headed.
Can we? I don't know.
Well-
I can't see the forest for the trees, to be honest. So
This is how everybody's going to make money.
Selling vaccines.
Selling every kind of thing that now has vaccines put into them.
Weed with vaccine in it?
Maybe.
Now you're talking.
oh fuck yeah,
And
smoke
booze,
that vaccine.
Booze, that's the key.
Yeah, if you can just drink your vaccine, you
I
get
think
everyone.
you'll get everyone on board.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways,
Give
okay.
everyone $100 and a bottle of vaccine vodka. Little VV.
But we should mandate it so that you can only have one bottle a week.
Stop saying mandate.
Yeah, enough.
Fucking guy.
Booze passports.
I love
There
like.
should be booze passports.
There
That's
should
a
be
really
everything
good
passports.
idea.
Cheeseburgers too.
I mean, there is a booze passport. It's called your ID that
Yeah.
says you're 19 years old.
Yeah,
we all forget that.
You know you can't drink without one of those.
Well, I'm just saying. There's
Oh,
at
no,
least
no,
some
no.
sort of.
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
Fuck the hole.
That's your week, Simon. Nothing's grinding your
No,
gears. You
I
seem
got
like you're in a pretty good
I
mood.
got a bunch of things that are grinding my gears, Matt.
Oh, he's got it on some Postits.
First of all, I heard a comedian give a very interesting, I don't even remember who it was, very interesting scenario I'd like to pose to you.
Okay.
So here's the deal. You can either, and it's only one of these two things, kiss your father's penis every day for a year, or suck him to completion one time once a year.
Oh my God, these are terrible.
Kiss his penis, obviously.
Once a day, you got to go over there and kiss his dick.
Once a
he's probably
day
sleeping.
for a year. No, he's awake, staring right at you.
He's awake staring at you right if you
Or,
finish him to
or
completion.
one day where you just...
Listen, there's no good answer. My time is valuable. Going over, like my dad doesn't live close. Driving to Perth every day to kiss his dick.
Oh, no, he's got to live with you.
He's got to live with
No, even
that's a
worse.
given.
Oh, then I'm sucking him off.
the
Fuck that.
semantic. Yeah, you don't want to have to drive
No.
with me, or you don't want to have to live with him.
No,
That's
God,
crazy.
no. I'm
You guys are
sucking
a
him
bunch
off.
of fags. Unbelievable.
You can't
Kiss-
say
Guilty
you
as
can't
char-
say-
guilty
you can't
as
say
charged.
that anymore. I watched a movie that I thought was going to be a series about firms, football firms.
Okay.
You know, the guys.
I know
who-
what a
the
football
who-
firm
the
is, yeah.
hooligans. Well, maybe Kamar doesn't know. I don't know. It ended up being like the worst movie I've ever watched in my whole life. But it got me thinking that would be a great like Showtime series that just focused on like the inside world of football.
What about a television drama, like an HBO drama about?
This is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're not talking about a documentary. You're talking
No.
about
I'm saying like
a
Showtime,
The Wire type.
This is exactly
I
what I'm
understand,
talking
yeah.
about, where
Billy
you
Corbin.
can really get like the backstories
Yes,
on like the
okay.
peeps. Like I don't know if you ever watched the movie Green Street Hooligans. It's with the guy from Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam.
Okay.
He's the main guy, and the the small hobbit there from Lord of the Rings.
Dominic Moynihan.
No, the main hobbit. Elijah Wood.
Oh, Elijah Wood. Okay. Yeah.
So those two. It's actually a pretty good movie. There was also another movie called like Football Factory.
Yeah.
That was like a British.
They're just gang.
They're just but they kind of showed you like people's backstory in it. It would be a great series, man. Somebody totally missed the mark on that. I'm just throwing that out there. And then grinding my gears is old people driving. Old people have been getting a pass lately because of this whole COVID thing. Everybody's just being really real nice to them.
'Cause they could be next.
Real worried about their well-being. And meanwhile, they're just letting like 90-year-olds have licenses out there. It's ridiculous.
They should have scooters.
No, they
That'll get rid
should
of them
not be
fast.
driving. There should be some like
There is.
Uber for old people.
Don't you have to take a test though?
There's
Once
a
you
test.
once
There's
you
a
hit a
test,
certain
yeah.
age, you have to be tested every once in
Okay,
a while.
well,
your
I am
license.
absolutely 100% guaranteeing you that there are people out there who would not pass that test who are driving their cars. So I don't know who's slipping through the cracks there. I was driving behind this person the other day, and first of all, this really bugs me. When an ambulance or a police car is coming, people don't move to the side anymore. It's like maybe they don't teach that in fucking driver's ed, but
They just stop.
yeah, but they just stop or don't even
pull over to the-
or don't even stop. You're
the
supposed to
curb.
pull over as fucking close as you can to the nearest curb. Anyways, I was driving, so I'm on this side of the road, going this way.
This is a good audio descriptor that you're giving right
Well,
here.
it's for the video, and the ambulance
people.
is coming the other way. Okay. On
I'm
the
with
other
you,
side of
yes.
the road, there is a median in the middle of the road, maybe 5 feet, all grass with a big kind of half dividing wall. The person in front of me pulled over when the ambulance was coming on the
Well,
other
they did the
side
right
of the
thing.
road. No, that's not the right thing. It's the wrong thing.
What should have they have done?
Nothing. They just keep driving. It has nothing to do with them.
But you were just complaining when the people hear the siren, they don't pull out. They did the right thing in the wrong place.
They were old. And
Kleenex
they
in
had
the back
no
of the car?
clue what they were doing.
Kleenex in the back
They
seat.
could barely see over the wheel.
They got a shop.
I know with my own grandparents, driving way after they should have been. Like my grandfather ended up being a menace on the road at the end. His favorite game was to set.
No. Your use of "How's your week"? You can save that for the post show. This is bananas.
He used
This is going to stretch
he
into a
used to
7-hour
set the
episode.
Speedometer at 100, and then anybody who passed him, he'd know was speeding, and anybody that he passed, he'd then judge whether they're going too slow or not.
Cruise control.
Yeah, cruise. Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's a nice car.
Yeah, what did you say? What did he say?
Oh, it was like an
Oh, he
set
sets the
the
speedometer.
speedometer.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I was like,
an Oldsmobile station wagon. Okay, I'm
I
done.
thought you meant like your grandfather had it rigged so that it always said 100 and he could just play dumb. Like, I don't know, officer. I was only going
sure I was
100.
Maybe he
fast.
did. He used to fall asleep at the wheel all the time.
Jesus.
I forgot to say, I got to know Matt a lot better this week because he shared some evidence of his wound.
He asked for it.
You sent him a picture
Not of the
No,
wound.
no, not of the
Wouldn't
wound.
go, didn't have to go that.
just
didn't
of
even,
his dick
Of
Nope.
discharge.
of discharge.
Yeah, that's the face.
of
he
what
did.
comes out.
So you like
It was a man pond.
Caught it
basically.
all in a
Anyways,
cup,
join the Patreon.
and
This
then-
man's.
You kept calling it a man pond. It was just a pile of toilet paper.
I imagine what it looked like, but you need to go to a doctor in
I've
America.
I've seen many
Oh, this
doctors.
is a specialist.
in America. You should go to one in Panama.
You didn't actually throw up, did you?
Stem
No.
cells injected into your taint.
Because I was like, please tell me this isn't part of your body.
Yeah.
He said no, and then I think he said it just squeezed out, and it just. I mean, I definitely retched. I didn't fully
Good
throw up.
stuff. Good stuff.
So yeah, that was my week. How was your week, Matt?
It was fine. I don't think I have anything to.
also called, made another phone call. Kevin Gamilla. Shout out Tennessee. Sorry.
Oh, he's from Tennessee. Nice.
Very nice guy.
Is it Gomilla or Gomia?
We didn't get into that. We just had a great
Okay,
conversation.
fine. That's fine. Listen, I'm not trying to put you on blast. I was just asking.
I only spoke to him for like 6.5 hours and never else.
I think it was a half hour, 45 minutes. Again, tap dancing on landmines. You just want to seem cool, you know what I mean?
I really have no idea what you're talking about.
Why don't you start a podcast called Calling Kamar?
I don't know if they could commit the time to it. Otherwise, it'd be a great idea.
All right. Well, do you want to go over the guests for us?
Yeah. I don't know about this week, to be honest with you. But anyways, they start off with one of the greatest documentary filmmakers of our time, 1706, Billy Corbin. Followed up by the oddest of pairs, 1707, Kurt Metzger and Kyle Dunnigan, long time coming.
The Pussies.
And finish off 1708, I don't even know what was going on here, Annie Lamke.
It seemed like a real dumpster fire, didn't it?
It seems like a bit of a dumpster fire of a week. Or, these things are planned way ahead.
Well, we knew that Ben Shapiro was supposed to be on last week.
Ben Shapiro, but COVID got in the way. And
that does show you, though, that Joe is like firm in his, like he really is that booked up. I don't think there's a lot of wiggle room. You know what I mean? He had to cancel that. And keep in mind, he buys everyone first class tickets and a nice hotel room.
You don't just get pushed to the next week.
That's what my
saying.
point is.
If you miss
Precisely
it, yeah,
that.
definitely.
If you miss your shot, you miss your shot. So, do we want to rate it? Maybe. So that's something we still do here. Sure.
in the spirit of the show, yeah.
I guess so.
I give it a 2.
Matthew?
I thought by your you were going to go before me. Oh God, I don't know. I guess I'll give it a 2.5. Just middle of the road. There was one that was good, and then there were two that were.
I'll give it a 2.5 as well.
We have half an agreement.
Maybe a 2.75.
That's going to change.
Oh,
That's
no,
going to change.
But maybe I said. So.
That's going to change. You think his is going up or down?
I think he changes every single week from where he starts.
Him?
I may too.
Okay, interesting. All right, well, let's.
So weird have you so close. I prefer the voice of reason
I
from
can
the
jump
back.
over the table at any time.
Okay, let's fire it up.
I thought it was wide enough. 1706, Billy Corbin.
Simon, you're barely on camera. Do you want to maybe drop the chair and slide in a bit, or you can still cross your legs there, Paolo?
Yeah, this is
That's as low as she goes.
That's the big problem with the table.
I can raise the table. I'm sorry.
I think it goes lower, but anyways.
This will do.
Okay.
1706, Billy Corbin. No one loves Billy as much as Billy.
I knew he was going to come out.
Wow.
Yeah, you see, I knew. See, this is interesting because I got to give Billy Corbin credit because, like, I remember I'm thinking back to Matty Matheson, who specifically came on, and then as soon as he was done, had to go on his social media and be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't push back enough. I'm sorry." He felt like he didn't do and like push. He was just there, happy he was there. Whereas this guy, I feel like he already knows that he has a pass.
What did I say to you? I said he was no Joe Rogan sycophant. You know what I mean? Like he
came out
wasn't
swinging.
But I
on
think-
there to simply agree with Joe Rogan about everything he said. He, like Matt said, he wasn't in fear of like
I think he knows he has a golden ticket if they exist on Joe's show. Like,
probably.
Even after this?
yeah, I think they're yes. I think Joe hands out tickets to certain people, not like actual, but I'm saying we know of certain people that will be invited back regardless of what they say,
He has
right?
5 documentaries on the go. We'll see when he comes back next. That'll be the real proof in
But
the
it
pudding.
definitely was interesting to see him right out the gate.
Oh, he
Like he didn't
He had
miss.
an agenda.
He
He
didn't
had an
miss
agenda.
a beat, and he plucked right at Joe's heartstrings. Joe, do you know that 1 cop a day is dying in Florida of COVID? First of all, I didn't know that. If that stat is anywhere close to true, that's fucking staggering. If they're actually dying of COVID, staggering stat. No one agrees with me.
I do.
I know it's a populated state, but
I
holy
just
fuck.
don't know what to think. Listen, I love the fact that he went out guns a
Hold on,
blazing.
I just said if that's true.
Yeah.
I didn't say I.
You're looking to me to react, and
I'm looking at both of you. I mean,
make it up.
I can't give you like, oh my god, because I'm just, who knows? You know what I mean?
yeah, but you can't make. What I'm saying is, if that were a true stat, if you had what you felt was definitive proof that that was a real stat, would you not find that somewhat shocking.
Yes, it would be insane. If that were a true stat, that it's like, it's crazy.
I'm sure he's also averaging, if it is a real stat, like I don't think it's a cop a day dies. It's probably like 7 cops a week. But even then.
But I think that's the same stat as soldiers that kill themselves. One a day kills himself.
What's your point?
That doesn't make it better.
That's horrible too.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
There's lots of horrible things
Totally.
going on. I don't know if it's more horrible than
Trump's terrible, but Hillary's terrible too.
not to Billy. Not to
we
Billy.
agree.
Not to Billy.
But again, though, I give him credit. Like he didn't back down either. He was very much
No.
like,
No, and he kept bringing it up and like throwing it back into the mix where most people at that point would, you know.
That's why I wonder if Joe's like looking forward to having him back.
I don't know.
but I gotta say though, I find it
Billy,
interesting.
who's my number?
I find it interesting when Joe feels like he has a leg up. Although even sometimes like Rhonda Patrick, I don't know how he thought he had a leg up there, but like he was quick to get off of this. Like it felt like he was like, let's get off COVID. You brought up COVID. They had that whole back and forth.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
How did this come up? You did this. No, you did this.
And he was like, "Oh, I did do it." At least in Billy's defense,
Yeah.
he was like,
yes, it
Well,
was
no.
me.
Joe started off by saying, so it seems like Florida's the only place that stayed open and good and stuff. And Billy was like, not having it all with the cop stat, with the vax
"Well,
stat,
because
with the death stat.
I felt like Joe was thinking Billy was going to take a different tact, right?
We're the
Like,
best. Land of the free.
Cowboys of
Yeah, cocaine Cowboys, baby.
Yeah.
COVID Cowboys.
we're just like Texas.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's the weirdest thing, his love-hate with Miami. You know what I mean?
Who, Joe's?
No, Billy. I think
It seems like he just
Joe
loves
likes
it.
Miami. He just loves it, but everything's wrong with it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's construction and corruption.
Yeah.
That's its main industry.
Isn't it insane? I'm sure this is in your notes, but how they were talking about the bridges falling, right? All the terrible infrastructure
Yeah.
in
The
Florida-
United States in general.
in Florida, in particular,
Mm-hmm.
in this case, where it was all mafia run, like they get all the contracts and then do this shoddy work. The exact same thing happens in Montreal. We have these
Miami of the
bridges that are falling. And again, that's
Mob
where
run.
mob run, all of that shit, man. And this is what I don't understand. So these mafia outfits are getting these contracts, right? Like where there shouldn't be in the first place. These super juicy contracts with the city and the government and all this shit. And then like that's not enough. It also has to be like shitty work. You know what I mean? They could do it right. It's not like
Not if
No,
they're
but you're
gonna-
cutting
no,
corners. You're
you
trying to
gotta
make
cut the
money
corners to make the
everywhere.
money.
That's the whole idea.
I understand, but with these guys, like even if you did it right, you would still make money.
Yeah, but you wouldn't make as much.
Yeah.
These
I mean,
guys-
you're forgetting what we're talking about here,
Yeah,
right?
no, I know. It's
Criminals.
it's
Criminals. At
crazy.
least they could build something, with some fucking integrity.
Well,
No, he's
they
saying they
care
can't.
about their communities. They care about their cities. Like we know this, and then they build the bridges that fall on their own peoples. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, their argument is that before the bridge falls, the government will step back in and they will get another juicy bridge building contract.
mean,
is that not?
The problem is they don't know when the bridges fall. I don't think they look at it that way. But
This
anyway.
bridge that he was talking about fell when they were testing it if it would fall. He said 4 of 5 happened in Miami-Dade, which everything seems to happen in that county. Like it's wild.
Yeah, Miami-Dade is, I mean, have you been?
I don't know. I've been to Sarasota. I've never been to Miami. So
Really? You've been to Sarasota? I've spent so much time there. It's odd that you've been to Sarasota.
And I think I went to Tampa Bay. Where's the Universal Studios?
That's Orlando.
I've been to Orlando. I've been to St. Petersburg a bunch.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough, St. Petersburg. It's like
Dude, there's a lot of Florida that's fucking, that is.
It all sounds exciting to me. He talked about
Oh, back to, I've been to Miami though. And like we took a wrong turn and ended up in like Little Haiti or cute dude. Woof.
off the strip is off the
It
strip.
was. We went to a drive-through at McDonald's, and Mary was like, "Just get me a muffin." And I pull up. I'm like, "Can I get whatever I got?" And I'm like, "Can I also get a muffin?" The girl goes, "A what?" I go, "A muffin." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "A muffin, like a baked good, a muffin." And she was like, "An English muffin?" I went, "I'll just pull up and describe it to you." I'm like, dude, we didn't get the muffin. They clearly,
What do they call muffins in Little Haiti?
dude, I don't fucking know.
it's weird to me that Miami even has like a bad part because it's so small. You know what I'm saying? You would think the richness would just spread to every Like Miami's tiny when
No,
you
but
look
they
at it
go up.
on like a map. It's such a small piece of land. It's just this like artificial dune that was built.
That's 20 years
I think it's
away
bigger
from,
than you give it credit for.
It's 20 years away from collapse, too.
Again,
According to
I've been
best
there, and it
estimates.
didn't seem like a small city.
I've been there as well.
Yeah, and you felt like it was small?
No, but just when you look at it, like it's not a big place.
Did either of you party in Miami?
No,
I wasn't drinking at the time, but we went to see Mad Lib for a Jay Dilla thing on my birthday, and he didn't start his DJ set till like 3:30 in the morning.
Did you feel a lot of energy, though? Like it was a popping off?
You were the only white dude in the crowd.
No, lots of white people.
It seems like the most fun place to go off in.
What I will say is it definitely, as far as like if I still drank, this would have been my place.
Yeah.
Like the entrance to this place was literally in an alley, and the second we walked in, it was just filled with weed smoke. So I was like, oh, perfect. You know what I mean? 'Cause
happening.
we had some weed, but I was like, I'm gonna have to go outside and be real fucking.
It had no name. It was one of those places.
It was weird. I also for the first time ever, I saw the most interesting thing. What the bouncers did was when Madlib started DJing, I guess so many people record on their phones. So what they would do is throw their flashlights up, and like
Just be recording late.
it didn't take more than 5 minutes for everyone to just be like, okay, this isn't happening, and then that was that. They didn't have to. I thought that very interesting. I worked in bars forever. I never saw that trick.
They should do that flashlight, and if they see someone with a phone, they should have a super soaker and just, you know,
Filled with piss.
it doesn't have to be piss, just a little bit of water.
Sorry, Kumar, go ahead.
Nobody likes to get wet.
Miami-Dade, bridges falling.
He was talking about all the music that was recorded in Florida because they'd go down there to do the cocaine, and he mentioned Shel Silverstein, who I think is underrated.
The poet.
The poet.
Yeah, where the sidewalk ends. Yeah, he's amazing, man.
I think he's amazing. So shout out Shel Silverstein. And he was
The
very...
Giving Tree. You know that story?
No.
Sorry, come on.
Yeah, we'll read some of his poetry. But
I will. Like,
I felt he was
Legs. Yeah,
pretty
it's
loose
happening.
with names. Do you know what I mean? But then all of a sudden he said the one person who spilt the cocaine on the piano, he wouldn't say who they were or how they came back and they went and smelt a kilo of cocaine. And Joe's like, have you ever done it? And he goes, no, I've never done it. I was like, I've never done it, but I want to smell it. Like Joe's on the edge of trying cocaine, I'm sure.
I've never done it, but I definitely smelt it.
The smell of cocaine comes from what it's being cut with, though, don't you think?
I think it's like gasoline sort of, almost like, you remember runoff sheets you get in class? If you got them right in time, they smell like chemicals.
What are runoff sheets?
Before photocopies.
He's talking about carbon
okay.
paper, right? That.
I was sort of a blueprint or telestat. I forget what it's called. But do you remember them? You used to
A
sniff them.
runoff sheet?
It was just like a photocopy. It wasn't a photocopy. It was like an ink.
Yeah.
They ran them off and
Yeah,
they smelled
I know
really
what you're
like
talking about.
acetone or something.
Well, the ethanol
It's chemically.
smell is going to come from like, you know, because they're using like gasoline and shit in Narcos there to like cut the stuff.
It smells like trouble.
And then you like, that's what I mean. Like sometimes it would smell like, have like that.
But you guys have smelled Cocoa Puffs. It smells like burning plastic. 10 out of 10 times.
It smells like raspberries.
Yeah.
Is that what you think it smells like? No,
No,
fucking
That's
way.
what I tell myself.
100% not raspberries.
It's burning plastic. That's the
Strawberry
smell
raspberry.
I
I wouldn't
always
know, but I imagine that it would smell like burning plastic.
For the record, I had a friend who will remain nameless who used to move cocaine. Let's just leave it at that.
You can mention my name.
No, we're not going to. He's got a wife and kids and he runs a successful business, so there's no point in naming him. But the point is this. He went through it real bad. And I mean real bad. Now I will name someone. He was hanging out with Leggett a lot. Sorry, let me pull this back a bit. Leggett was hanging out there a lot for obvious reasons. And he used to call me up because I was a fun drunk. I'd go hang out. But it was the kind of place where there was like a plate of cocaine, like sitting on the... Now, how much coke was on that plate, you know, it depended on the week, the day, whatever. Point being, one night he thought he was so coked up and he thought someone... He had like 9 people in his apartment. He thought someone stole some coke. Now, I don't know if you know this, but kidnapping is technically holding someone against their will and then moving them from one room to another. I just want to make that clear.
That's
right off the
base-
jump.
that's base
That is kidnapping by the book. And that is what happened this evening because he went on a rampage. He locked the door and he was like, no one's fucking leaving. Everyone empty out your pockets. He used to call it lockdown.
Did it make you all get naked?
He put half the people in one room and half the people in the other. I was the only one that didn't have to go in a room because I didn't do coke and he knew that very well. And I was like a close friend. So he knew I didn't steal and I didn't do coke. So he was like, I know it's not you. You're going to help me fucking. Dude, just so blasted.
Oh, so you became an accomplice in the kidnapping?
Yes, I was an accomplice to kidnapping, almost against my will, but
Well, kind of like Stockholm syndrome.
You're a kidnap to kidnap.
yeah, precisely, yes.
Yeah. You would go to jail.
No, I think that's a double negative.
No, I don't think
You're
it
actually a
works that
hero.
way.
I'd probably go to jail.
If you drive the thing.
It's like driving the getaway car. He also, it's funny enough, that same apartment, we got trapped in his elevator one night. I don't know if I told you guys this. We got trapped in the elevator, and I had to climb up out the hole through the shaft, like open the door above and we climbed out.
Really?
It was fucking nuts. Yeah.
It's like paranoia.
It's like paranoia.
I always say I would do that if I had to. And
I nearly died doing it too.
Why, did the elevator start again?
No, I boosted him up first. He pulled me up, and I thought there was a wall. It's pitch black.
Oh, yeah,
I went
you
to
told
lean
me
up
this.
against a wall, and there was just nothing there. And luckily, he was like holding on to me. But
Yeah, Jesus
It's crazy when
Christ.
you're doing something like that. You know, like I'm doing this.
yeah, I nearly fell down a fucking elevator shaft to my death.
It is not everyone does that ever. You've got to. You're not going the right direction when you're doing that.
No, for sure.
Unless you're escaping a terrorist attack, which
No,
is very rare.
Come on, you know what the funniest part was? It was Christmas Eve, and we were stuck in the elevator, and we would have been fine being there for hours, but we realized right away we had no smokes. Like he was like,
gotta go.
oh well, we're in here.
I
I'm
could-
just gonna fire up a smoke, and then he did the like, oh shit.
I couldn't be stuck in that elevator. I would have to get out. That's way too claustrophobic. I am going out the roof.
Crazy story too. A week later, someone else that he knows got stuck in that elevator, and they were in there for 8 hours. He said.
Yeah, you see, fuck that noise.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm so glad we
Fuck
climbed
that
out.
You would
noise.
go for it.
Oh my God. I saw, so I was watching, I watched that Dark Side of the Ring. That's the wrestling one where
Yeah,
they-
yeah, yeah,
So
on
they
Crave,
keep
yeah.
adding new episodes. The episode they just added was like called like the Flight from Hell or something. Mm-hmm. So the WWF buys this plane or rents this plane, and it's like a party plane.
Okay.
It's a 747, but it only has 50 seats in it, like a lounge, all this shit. It's to keep all the wrestlers like, happy.
Yeah.
And they're coming back from like China or somewhere or Europe, and they get stuck on the tarmac for 8 hours, and they go through 3 carts of liquor. And then they get up in the air, and all this shit goes down, and there are like fights and like rapes, and like it's crazy, man. Yeah,
3 carts of liquor.
It's a crazy episode, but they're talking about Ric Flair, and I guess Ric Flair. The reason why he's called Nature Boy is because he has a giant hog.
Yeah.
And what he would do on these flights is he would get naked underneath his robe, and then he would just show himself, and he would do this thing where he'd make his
Just swing it
cock
around,
do a
yeah.
big fucking helicopter.
Good for him.
And apparently he like cornered some woman in the back of the whatever. And then another part of the thing was,
Yada yada that a little bit.
no.
Yada yada the
You
rape.
raped
Listen, he
also-
he got off, and when they're talking
Wow.
to the guys, they're like, "Well, how come he got away with anything?" And they're like, "Well, Ric Flair had different rules than everybody else." But anyways,
He showed his big cock to the judge. The judge was like,
Because-
it's not even rape anymore.
because Scott Nash, Razor
Yeah.
Ramon,
Yeah.
he claims that he was given like a roofie or something, and the waitress or the flight attendant goes to wake him up, and he like wakes up out of his thing and grabs her and like pulls her towards him and says, "I'm gonna lick your face," or something crazy, and he got fired immediately. But
But he blamed a
Flair-
roofie.
Well, he blamed a roofie.
Interesting.
And Kurt Hennig, so this is the other part, Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
So Mr. Perfect was like the jokester, and Brock Lesnar was on this flight, and he like put shaving cream on Brock Lesnar's head and then smushed it down, and Brock chased him all around. They got into a huge fight on the plane, and they like slammed into the door, the the exit door.
Yeah. A door. Yeah.
Anyways, crazy.
hatch.
Which can't open, I found out. There's no way. The pressure is too much. But what they could have happened is they could have gone through the plane wall, which is
What do you mean the pressure's too much?
apparently like that door can't open while you're flying.
You've looked
But the
into it,
pressure
so you're gonna
sucks
fly?
everything out. So I don't understand how that works.
Listen, this is what they said, Matt.
Interesting.
So you can,
I believe you.
You can do the research, but they were like, they slammed in, and everybody thought they were going to get sucked out. Little did they know that that can never happen. But they could have gone through like the wall of the plane.
That wasn't going to happen either.
Well,
I'm pretty sure they designed those planes so that two wrestlers couldn't just. It's not like drywall.
This is Brock Lesnar we're talking about.
Okay. Either way.
Anyway, sorry, I don't know how we got that.
I like how you tied that in because they were probably on cocaine from Miami.
Well, everybody was on
Everyone was on cocaine from
this.
Miami.
Yeah.
He said in this music studio, Respect was recorded.
Yep.
Aretha Franklin, which was just listed the number one song in Rolling Stone's new top 500 songs list.
That's the number one song ever.
Number one's, well, according to Rolling Stone, that'll change, but they also lied about ivermectin. No accuracy.
So their whole list is fucking bunk.
But do you know what the second number one song was?
Love Will Tear Us Apart.
A Beatles song.
Fight the Power, Public Enemy.
Shut the fuck up.
From Do the Right Thing, which I've told you to watch,
Okay,
which
so
now is on
this
Netflix.
feels like, you know what? I'm not.
It is what it is. It's
Hold on,
Rolling
first of
Stone.
all,
I'm
let me
not
say
dipping
this.
my toe into these waters.
Let me say this. I don't go to Rolling Stone for my medical advice. I might go to them for some music. Let's also keep that in mind. No?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Separate the art from the...
Sure.
Yeah.
Did
Medical
you
advice.
guys see the movie where the Beatles don't exist?
You've spoken about this twice on this, I believe. Yeah, I haven't seen
Yesterday.
it. Yesterday is the name of it. Yeah.
Let's move on.
Billy Corbin wants people to watch documentaries to generate compassion. Do you see how Cocaine Cowboys would generate compassion in someone? Have you guys watched Kings of Miami?
Yeah. No, I mean that it just makes you like angry, no?
Frustrated or jealous?
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah, no compassion though.
No
I don't know.
compassion.
You can. I don't know. You can feel compassion for the people living in those neighborhoods that weren't making $1 billion a year.
yeah,
Well,
but
no,
I
but
don't
those
think
people
that's what
benefited.
the movie is pointing out.
I get
you
it.
know?
I think
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
people benefited too. Like I think
Well, they're
They were like
drug
Robin
cartels,
Hood.
like, yeah, exactly.
Well, that was kind of my point with the mafia is like here they are like making their own shitty, terrible for their own people, you know? Or maybe
no, they're
they
like,
make
hey, we
sure-
did the bridge across town. No one goes there.
Right, maybe in Little Italy they
Yeah.
like reinforce everything with fucking steel.
Remember all the extra concrete from that bridge? It's
put
over
in
at this
this
bridge.
Do you think Billy Corbin does himself a favor not putting himself in his documentaries?
Yes.
I think so too.
I think most people do themselves a huge favor not putting themselves in.
100%. That's the worst part
He's just
about
too much of a storyteller.
Corbell.
Oh, he.
Don't put yourself in your
It's
document.
enough with the face interviews and the footage, and you don't need Billy because he would ruin it. It'd be just too much.
The most
I
you
think.
should be in a documentary is when you're interviewing someone for like a talking head shot, and maybe because you're not mic'd up, you know, when they have like the closed caption at the bottom where you ask like an additional question that they need the audio for. That's like the most you should be.
Off camera.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, no face. And again, you're not even mic'd up. So no one had intended on putting you in at all.
Just hear it in the background.
Precisely, yeah.
Nobody seems like they're more on cocaine than Billy Corbin.
Nobody.
Like,
Nobody.
Dave Portnoy.
but he probably
No, he
is,
is
on
on
cocaine.
Adderall, yes, I
He's
know.
on Adderall. So.
But I'm just saying, you could make the comparison, right?
But I don't think Billy is. I find all Billy's documentaries are cool because they deal with drugs.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah,
subject will generate crazy stories. It's not like
Yeah,
you
if
have
he-
to look hard into what's going on.
If he did one about like an endangered duck, it probably wouldn't hit that hard.
Maybe not unless the duck was selling drugs.
Duck's pushing serious weight.
But I thought he was a one trick pony, but he did
Howard
do
the Duck.
He did do the Limelight documentary.
Limelight. Which one was that?
It's about the Limelight in New York, Peter Gaetan.
Yeah, the nightclub.
They also talk about it in the next podcast, but I had some friends who went to that club, like in the last days.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bananas, you know what I mean? Like crazy ecstasy and all this, and start at 3 a.m. and the Club Kids. You've seen all the movies, eh? Like,
Club Kids, yeah, with David Alleg, Steve whatever his name was.
What movie is it?
It's called Club Kids. It's about, I forget his name. His last name was Alleg. He was he ended
Party
up,
Monsters, one
Party
of them,
Monster.
Club
Yeah, he ended up
Kids.
killing.
Yeah, that was with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah,
that was-
that's Party Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that whole story. I listened to a couple.
But do you remember
podcasts
with
on it.
Geraldo and
No.
like they used to always have these club kids on these talk shows like Donahue and Geraldo, which they all talk about. And so he's not just a one trick pony. He did something else.
Yeah.
I give that props to Billy. He doesn't like weed. I was wondering if that Like he does not like weed.
Well, he doesn't like weed for himself.
Yeah.
But he's.
Oh no, he's not anti-weed.
Yeah.
But usually when you guys are like,
I don't care if someone's like, I can't smoke weed. I don't enjoy it.
couldn't break bread with him.
I mean, like, yeah, exactly. If you don't have a problem with it, I don't care.
I don't think I'd want to be around him. Like, I think he'd be a lot to handle. I wonder if he's ever has downtime. Like, did he just come in his podcast on, or is he always like that? Because he's really rhythmical. He'll talk fast and slow down when he wants to get your attention back, and then spins another yarn.
I find this interesting. I want to go back because we've done a Billy Corbin, and I want to know what Kamar's previous. I want to know what Kamar's previous thoughts on Billy Corbin were because
Me too.
So that, like, yeah, anyway, you know what?
You're not going to get pulled into this.
I'm not going to be pulled into it.
You know, they're talking about this story about, like, I ate this thing. Everything tastes good stoned. Like, he's not an amazing ice cream sundae at McDonald's or Dairy Queen.
Things taste better stoned, but some things still taste terrible stoned. Like mushrooms stoned are worse than mushrooms when you're not stoned.
I bet you stoned, though, you'd eat mushrooms if you were hungry.
I would not. No, man. I think things are even more gross when I'm stoned, you know?
And things you like are even more better.
Are better, correct. Yeah. Not more better.
I definitely remember in grade 9, like, telling a friend, I was like, dude, you got to get really high and jerk off. And he was like, what? I was like, you have to try this. I was like, it's the shit. Because I remember one day I got home so high from school and there was no one home. And I was like, you know what? It's a good time as any to jerk off. And it was like next level.
Things are heightened, for sure.
Yeah. Not anymore. Now I smoke weed and it's, you know.
It'd be weird if you did sober.
Had sex
sure I fuck sober.
on mushrooms.
No.
And that was insane.
Oh, I've never done
In
that.
a good way?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it was
body
it
buzz
was
was
crazy.
good, but the hallucinations are
weird.
Did
She had the head of a raccoon.
You don't have hallucinations on mushrooms.
I do when I close my eyes.
When you close your eyes, that's just your imagination.
Yeah.
Well, you have that when you're not high.
No, but I'm saying,
Imagination.
and a hallucination to me is like the
Like your eyes are open and
the waking
yeah.
dream, right? Like that's the problem.
No, it's like when you close your eyes and you just see stars or like whatever you see on the back of your eyelids. You actually see pictures.
Right. Like if I said, Kamar, close your eyes. Okay, I want you to visualize a cat.
I love how you close your eyes like a kid. Like you really, there you go.
A cat, Kamar. Do it right now. Do you see the cat in your head? Like
ugly.
a picture
It's
of
an
it.
ugly cat.
What color is it?
It's yellow.
You actually see a yellow cat in front of you?
I'm making it up.
See, like I can't conjure something like
No, I
that.
cannot either. It looks like I'm looking at the
You
sun.
can't close your eyes and just picture a yellow cat. Done.
It's just a memory of a yellow cat, though.
Can't
you know
see
what
it.
I mean?
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
not
But on
creating
mushrooms
like
on
a
the back of
yellow
my eyes,
cat
I can see
in
it.
front of me, in front of my eyes. There's no yellow cat there. It's just black.
Okay, but even conjuring up a memory of a yellow cat, you then, like, how do you think your mind works? That's how pretty much everything works. You have an existing memory of
No,
something.
but I'm just thinking of a yellow cat. I'm not actually like
yeah, you're imagining
making
a yellow
picture
cat.
of a yellow cat.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
Mushrooms. Would you guys
Smoke
believe
another joint.
Janet
You'll get it.
Jackson is into like crime docs and corruption?
I mean, you know what? It's funny because when he said that, yeah, of course, I like you was like, wow. But then you think about it and you're like, well, she's just a person, right? You know what I mean? Like plenty of women, first of all, women love true crime. So if you think about it, it's actually not that surprising at all.
I think it's exactly how it happens too. You start by watching like crime docs, and then if you're famous, you're like, well, how can I like make this into a thing now? And then you start helping like Kim Kardashian, you know?
Sure, but I just meant, like Kamar, I also was like, weird. I never, I think it's just because you don't think of them like people.
Oh, no, of course you don't think of those people. I found it gave her more depth for me.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? He called Anthony Bourdain Tony. Do you feel he was taking a liberty there?
Billy?
He was saying, Billy said he went down, I don't drink beer, but he said, Tony's coming down, so you got for a beer. I said, I'm drinking beer. The things we do, because he says his friend ate sushi, doesn't like sushi.
But I mean, he's met him, hasn't he? Aren't they friends?
I guess so. If you meet him, you can call him Tony, but otherwise it's Anthony.
Yeah, I feel like if
Mr.
he introduces
Bourdain.
himself as Tony, you then have carte blanche to call him Tony.
And
I mean, he's dead, so you can call him whatever you want.
Joe said Cocaine Cowboys is the top 5 documentaries of all time.
Couldn't disagree more.
What do you guys, if you think of the best documentary, could you think of something that just...
Like Icarus is amazing.
I didn't even think about that. That's
I mean, even then, do we consider like Planet Earth a documentary?
Yeah, man, of course.
Then yeah, like-
Baraka's a documentary.
But you know what I mean? Like Planet Earth, that's some of the best shit ever done, ever.
Icarus is the one where in the middle the story starts,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
I think that might be the best documentary.
It is
Icarus
an
is up
amazing
there, yeah,
documentary,
for sure.
I like Smartest Guys in the Room.
Does a podcast cut?
No.
Because then,
Three Identical Strangers was pretty fucking
what's
nuts.
it called? Winds of Change. I mean, if we're just talking about documentaries,
Yeah,
that kind of.
under a large umbrella that could be, but I think this is a visual.
And what about like Serial? Did you guys ever listen to Serial? Because
No.
that is fucking incredible.
Well, I mean, for me, I was just thinking of the visual, like the visual medium of documentaries, not so much podcast. But I guess sure. I mean, if you're opening that up, though, you're opening up a floodgate of material.
Usually a documentary, though, is sort of like, this is a thing, and then it tells you how this happened. You know what I mean? Or makes a wanting question that you got to find out, what the hell?
Am I
These
wrong?
have to do come together.
Am I wrong, or is it just an age thing that like it felt to me like documentaries pre-2000 were like very dry, bland, like, and then somewhere like I don't want to say Michael Moore because that's the worst example, but somewhere in that Michael Moore era, it seemed
He's
like
gotta give it
documentaries.
credit for the genre, but I mean, it used to be all animals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but
they're
it,
kids.
you know what I mean? Like the nature of things. Like it seemed like that sort of slow.
The McBurger guy there, McMeal?
Supersize Me.
Supersize Me. That was like.
Yeah, but that was the same. That's what I'm saying. Like the corporation, supersize me. You could even like someone mentioned on the Reddit the other day, loose change.
Yeah.
Oh, Loose
Zeitgeist.
Change. That's a great
Yeah,
doc,
Loose Change. Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And again, there's another documentary that starts out one way, all about, the hot coffee, and then taught
No,
me.
Hot Coffee. That's another one.
Oh, not Loose Change. Hot Coffee.
Loose Change is the 9/11
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Hot Coffee is a fucking great one.
Amazing. That's the one I'm talking about. How it starts out about
Yeah.
the fucking lawsuit and then changes into tort law. Like, that's the only reason I know anything about tort law in
Yeah.
the States.
Do you guys consider Zeitgeist
That's what I've said. Yeah, Zeitgeist.
Is
I mean,
that a documentary,
it would
though?
be.
Like, some of those are less accurate, or there's a lot more conjecture, right?
I feel like it's
With
more.
9/11 ones and
I
stuff
feel like that's
that.
more of a philosophical documentary. You know what I mean? Like there.
It's conspiracy based, though. Like, there's no conspiracy in what Billy Corbin does. He's like just the facts.
I mean, hold on though.
as
The
much as
first,
he can.
but hold on. The first Zeitgeist is really like it starts off just all about how religion revolved around the sun. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't call that conspiracy so much as like a.
Well, I always felt that led to like how
I guess,
formed the
yeah.
Illuminati or whatever. You
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
go
I guess
down
you're right.
whatever
Yeah.
road.
But you're right, Simon. Hot Coffee is fucking incredible.
That Q documentary. It's not like the best ever, but it's a good documentary.
Yeah, but we're talking like top
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
I just again Cocaine Cowboys. I remember seeing it and being like, oh wow. I never thought in my head this is one of the best documentaries.
No.
I've
Oh,
ever
really?
seen. No.
I don't remember it. It's so long.
Even
ago.
he said, like, we had to redo it because it wasn't very well done. They did Cocaine Cowboys Reloaded or whatever it was called.
Yeah, and I saw the first version because I remember I had this when I lived in Montreal. There was one of those like, what's the place in the Glebe? Is it still there?
Glebe
Glebe
video.
Video?
4th Avenue Video or
With
whatever.
Phil.
You know how they have everything, like the most underground. Like I had a place like that in Montreal. So
It's still VHS movies.
You're not kidding.
No, they have DVDs.
Maybe they were the last to switch over.
Yeah, for sure.
but even then, they went and archived all their stuff too. Like they moved everything. Like I think if you go to Glebe Video, you can get like, it might just be like a burnt DVD, but they have some really hard to find shit in there. Really
Or
hard
films
to
and shit
find
like
shit.
that.
It's
Yeah.
like that. There's another one too, off of Bank Street there. It doesn't matter. Invisible Cinema.
I've never been in there.
Yeah, they have like really hard to find, like weird fucking.
At like Queen and Bank, not Queen. It would be like, I guess Lisgar and Bank. Interesting.
They couldn't talk about Miami without mentioning Scarface. Have you seen Scarface?
No, I've never seen it.
Of course. Or is that the yeah? All right, here we go.
Of course, yes.
It's
I
the
have seen it.
JRE movie game. The time has come again. From Matt and Simon to Rags, it brings together the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're going to do Scarface, directed by Brian De Palma, screenplay by Oliver Stone,
It's a fucking classic, man.
starring Al Pacino. He's the only one who gets credit in that movie.
As
But
far as starring.
it's a fucking classic, and it's just like heyday of hip hop. It's such a reference. You know what I mean?
Does Robert Lozier play the bad cop? Is that no? It's the guy from. It's the dude from the. He's the judge in.
You fucker! When he shoots him in
Yeah,
the gut.
Frank. He's the judge in Ghostbusters.
Yes. But he doesn't get credit here. It's just Al Pacino.
Interesting. You know what a hussa is, Frank? It's a pig that doesn't fly right.
Fuck you, Tony. And fuck the Diaz brothers. So quotable.
Simon, I've got a year already.
I am torn here. Okay. Okay, let's go.
I know almost for a fact
Oh.
this came out the year I was born, 1983.
And I also said 1983.
And it came out on 1983. Oh my God.
Look, Matt, it's the
Way to
one
go.
Nice work,
He
pal.
wrote it down before the theme song was done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Classic. Here we go, guys.
Wow.
Head
And
to
I
head.
had no prior knowledge. I just worked that out in my head.
I don't know if this has ever
2
happened
weeks in a
before.
row, my friends.
Nice work.
I don't know
Nice
if this
work.
has ever happened before.
This is tough, though, budget and a box office, because, okay, actually, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying shit. I don't want to give Simon a leg
This
up
is
here.
too intense.
I
It's
don't
too
wanna
close.
give
The
Simon
stakes
a
are
leg
too
up
high.
here.
It was original in 1932 version.
Yeah, with Cagney. James Cagney.
Wise guy, eh?
Yeah, you see?
Universal Pictures. 170 minutes of runtime. It is a long movie.
I think I'm ready.
I'll let you go first.
I said it cost 4.5 million to make,
Yeah.
and it made 27 million.
I said it cost $8 million, and it made 12.
We got close, guys. It cost $23.5 million to make.
I'm fucking
23,
way off.
37, it says.
Nobody was
23 and
even
37.
close.
Jesus
Box
Christ.
office, $66 million.
Neither of us were even fucking close.
It
Way
actually
under,
made
way too
66. Wow. I just thought,
I
I
can't-
remember, this is what
There's a lot of opulence
To
in
say
the
I
movie.
remember, I was born the year it came out, but I always thought this was like a dud and then became like a cult classic. Like I thought this did no numbers.
I
and then
agreed.
people were like, the impersonation and like just the lure of it. I didn't
But
think this did fucking.
How did
that's
it
crazy.
cost 27 million?
He's
to
right,
make
though. A lot of
in
guns.
1984.
A lot of
or
guns.
3.
A lot of nice cars, location, like mansions. They obviously had real coke on the set. Let's be fucking serious.
What if that's the budget? It was
That's
all
it.
coke.
It's $20 million
cost
of
$4
coke,
million.
$3 million in lighting. Like, that's it. I did see the best thing ever. There was a YouTube comment for, the song Ram Jam, or the song Black Betty by Ram Jam. Have you ever seen the video for it?
No.
It's literally like them on the front lawn of someone's house with like a couple girls in the background just singing. And the top YouTube comment was a guy who's like, what did he say? He's like, $10,000 budget for the video. He's like, what do we need 10 grand for? He's like, $9,000 worth of weed and blow. And then he's like, $300 each for the backup dancers.
The video was so shitty.
Yeah, the video's terrible.
And that's the movie game. Brought
Thank
to you
you,
by no one.
Tyler.
Shirtless Tyler. I love that he was talking about how they expensed coke as piano tuning. Like, guys, there's one ballad on this. Like, we had 42,000 worth of piano tuning. What
They
the fuck?
know where it's going to. Or the Eagle story of the guy just coming down the stairs in bathrobes.
Yeah.
We got it.
I love, too, they wrote Hotel California in Miami.
High on cocaine. It really goes to what Joe says about,
Did the Eagles write Hotel California?
well, those two guys, Don
Henley and- okay.
the other guy who got kicked out of the band, I think.
Because I'm just thinking there's a lot of good versions of that. There's a lot of songs in my past, too, where I'm like, you find out that Burt
do like
Bacharach
that
wrote
song?
it. Hotel California. Jose Felicion has one of the most incredible.
you love it.
Yeah, that song's
Yeah.
great.
You like it, Simon? Some people
Hotel
like
California?
It's played,
I mean, yeah, I've listened to it. A lot
I'm not
of
going to listen to
times.
the Eagles version, but I'm telling you, the version that's in that Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That Spanish version by Jose Feliciano.
Well, I think it's
incredible.
there's a good one in
who else?
Big Lebowski.
Bobby
as well.
Womack does one.
Big Lebowski, and maybe it's
All the leaves are brown.
That's California Dreaming.
that's something different.
Oh, that's California
It's all
Dreaming,
right,
yes.
it's
And
all
that
right,
is
it's all
Bobby
right.
Womack, yeah.
Classic song.
That's what I'm thinking of, California. What are you talking about? Hotel? No, I hate Hotel California.
Yeah, I thought.
Welcome
Yeah,
to
sorry.
the hotel.
I know you
I'm-
do.
I hate
No,
it,
but
yeah.
there's a great Spanish version of that.
There is, you're right,
in
yeah.
Gypsy Kings.
Gypsy Kings.
Yes, you're right,
in
yeah.
The
And
Big
I knew you
Lebowski.
hated the
Thank
song, and I
you.
was like,
Yeah.
I
love
did
California
You
Dreaming.
forget who you are.
Because that's
And
a
the sky
California
is
Dreaming, yeah.
gray.
Like, I don't think the Mamas and the
There
Papas
was
wrote...
a punk version of that by a band. Oh, what the fuck were they called? Anyways, they were this Japanese punk band.
Like surf band,
So
surf
it's
rock.
All there is around. Yeah, it's really.
Cancelled.
Later, Tony.
I was telling
Simon's
you.
back off camera
what
next week.
they
Leaves
already
around.
did.
I heard that clearly. All the leaves are
I'll
round.
pull it up for you right now.
Cocaine was so rampant in Miami. Even Marco Rubio spent a summer in a stash house.
Yeah.
Not doing anything, but
Oh, he grew up in a stash house.
no, but
It's not like he went and interned in
that
a stash
obviously
house
was-
before he went to government.
that obviously was not able to be used against him to where he's made it now. You know what I mean? Like he was just like, yeah, from Miami. Of course you did.
That's because anyone who would have used it against him also lived in a stash house at one point, so it was a moot point.
yeah. What's Clinton going to do?
Everyone has something on everyone. I like that he pointed out that some documentaries are bloated. Like I think
Loaded
his
as in you meant
documentaries-
for time, or just they add...
like we said, Murder Mountain could have been done in 2 episodes instead of 4. And
That's
stuff
the
like that.
main problem with these docs is that they stretch them out too far. They really should just make them more concise like they did in the olden days.
I think so.
Granted, you don't want like 2 hours, but you only need 3 episodes. You don't need 7 to tell the story. Sometimes.
I think it's easy to say that. I think it's a lot easier to say that sitting where we sit versus being in the editing bay and trying to tell a story. You know what I mean? Like, there might be something that you had previously cut out and then someone watched it and was like, I kind of got lost. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Or-
maybe, but mostly they're just trying to get more episodes. So
Or
they
is a
fucking-
situation where they sold episodes and they got
Exactly.
stretched.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it works. You sell a project.
He
You don't
said-
sell episodes.
He said it worked like that.
He commented that there's certain documentaries that could be 2 parts.
Kamar,
not
he
4
said
parts.
it worked like that.
Like what?
What's his name?
Like his documentaries could have been 10 hours. He had to.
I don't think he said that.
Shorten them.
I think he did say that. He said that there are places out there that buy the episode.
Maybe. What do I know?
Well, whatever.
I think he has a surefire shot of making it a musical.
Called Cocaine Cowboys.
Oh, for sure. Like everything's so ridiculous, you know what I mean? And it could be. I see the sets being bright, Miami, like no problem.
I fucking hate musical theater.
Even Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon I could tolerate.
No, there's always one. Cats.
But you'd rather see a movie.
I just don't like. Never in my life have I been walking on the street and had people break out in music all together and dance. It doesn't happen. That's not a real fucking world.
But you'll stomach it in a cartoon.
I don't like it in cartoons either. I hate when Family Guy does it. I hate when South Park
I
does
hate
it.
when Big Mouth does it.
I fucking despise a
Yeah.
musical number. I fucking hate it.
The only one
I'm
I
a
think
sucker
I
for a
like
good one.
is See My Vest, See My Vest. That's a good song.
I watched Hamilton.
Is it good?
Whatever. But if that could be a musical, anything could be a musical. And that's why I think that's his last act. Is to make
Hamilton
cocaine.
is a musical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, let me give you an example. Come From Away. It's the 9/11 musical. It's about this town in Newfoundland,
planes went to.
Gander. Yeah, it's about Gander, Newfoundland, where like.
They made that into a movie, didn't they?
Well, I know they made it into a musical. It's called Come From Away. I went and saw it. Again, if they had just told the story, great story, incredible. I don't need music. I don't think anyone was singing and dancing. Well, it's Newfoundland, so actually they probably were.
The fishing boats go out and they save people. Is it that whole story?
No, this is after 9/11 when they had to ground all the planes. Anything that was over the Atlantic got diverted to Gander, Newfoundland. So there was a city of 5,000, had 5,000 extra
see.
people there overnight.
So what? They were just really good at hospitality or something?
Well, keep in mind, too, no one was cleared for Canadian customs. So they all sat on the tarmac for 12 hours, and then they all had to leave all their belongings on the plane. So they were only allowed to leave, and they had to stay there for a week. And yeah, the whole town of Gander and the surrounding area basically took everyone in.
You heard it here first. He's going to do a musical. He said, I serve at the pleasure of the audience, which I thought was sort of douchey. But that's just me.
You serve at the pleasure of the audience.
Billy serves at the pleasure of the audience.
Well, meaning that if the people don't like what he's making, then he's not going to be making shit anymore.
But the people like what he's making because it's...
But that's not true, even. Like, I get what you're saying. I understand, like, supply and demand. But he could make a terrible movie, and then someone could be like, it's okay, Billy. Here's another $5 million. Go make... You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. He said that.
Yeah, no.
Billy said that
Yeah.
about himself.
It was a douchey thing, Kamar, yes.
I don't think it...
Oh, fuck yeah.
I don't think it was
Well,
douchey
you're
at
2 to
all.
1.
I'll tell you why also, Simon, I think it's douchey, because this whole I serve, like, you make the thing for yourself.
Because you love Miami.
There's
You want to tell these stories.
There's maybe 10 people that get to see the finished product before it goes out. So you yourself have to sit there and go, I made this for me. I like the finished product. And now I just have to put it out there and people are going to think what they're going to think. But to then be like, you could say I'm at the will of the audience.
I think what he was saying, I could be wrong, was like, he can't just go, he might love kettlebells, but he can't make a fucking documentary about kettlebells because
If he's the best,
there
he
aren't
can't.
enough people out there who like it enough to warrant making the movie about it.
No.
So he's got to pick subjects that he knows people are going to sink their teeth into.
The documentary filmmaker makes a subject interesting.
And
You don't
even
take
then-
it as a subject.
I would then say I'm at the whim of the audience, as in I can't cover certain I don't know, whatever. We're arguing semantics now.
I just don't think he was being douchey. I don't think that's what he was.
You know
think
what,
he was
Simon?
trying to be like a prick.
Considering that this guy is like pro-vaccine, he can go fuck himself anyway.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's one of the good guys.
Let's mandate this guy the fuck out of here.
He was talking about the female drug pin who imported motorcycle drive-bys.
Yeah,
I think that's the baddest.
Is that the
assassin
Queen
technique.
of the South, Therese?
She imported that into America.
You couldn't even do that.
And she died that way.
Therese? Oh, you were making fun of the way
Yes,
I
I
did it?
was, yeah.
Is there a better way, though, to take someone out?
You can roll your R's. Sorry, 1 second. You can roll your R's.
Teres?
Okay. No, that's pretty crazy. I didn't know that's how they came into the States was through Therese.
Something has to start somewhere. There's a good one in New Jack City.
Can I also say this, though?
Oh, what a great movie I forgot about. New Jack City.
Was
Talked
it
about
nice?
last week.
Can I also go back to what you were saying about this guy could just make his lane.
That should be the movie game.
This guy could just make his lane doing Miami-based cocaine dealer. Like,
I think anyone could if they wanted to
sure,
go down
but
there.
my
He
point
knows
is, I
the
think there's
best.
so many stories. Like
He
that's
did the
what,
baseball story. He's still Miami.
that's what I got from the new cocaine Cowboys was that there
Kings
are
of Miami?
Is that the one? The new like the doc
6-part series?
Yeah. That's what I got from that was like I had never heard of those guys ever. There must be dozens of them.
There are a lot of stories out there of people who didn't get caught, you know?
Well, I also think that's funny when Joe asked him, like, no one really gets out of this, right? And it's like, well, Joe, they do. You just don't hear about them. That's how they got, you know what I mean? Like,
Obviously, they have to get out way sooner before they get busted or killed.
but there's a lot of those guys.
And you guys have watched the whole 6-part series?
No.
I have.
When the attorney, plot spoiler, the attorney general is, or whatever, of state's attorney is so pissed off, he goes out, gets wasted, and bites a stripper. he's so angry.
Because he's so stressed from the events of the trial.
That's fucking great.
It has to step down. Anyways, yeah. So that in itself
Only
is
in
a
Miami.
Yeah.
Only in Miami. That itself is a documentary. He's afraid of iguanas, but he'll eat them.
Oh, that whole iguana shit is crazy, eh?
He
Would
thinks
you
that's
rather-
what took down the building.
Well, that's
can
very
contribute.
interesting because they burrow underneath. That mixed with the mafia's faulty fucking craftsmanship.
But I was
Lack
just
of
going to
rebar.
say, wouldn't it be interesting if, like, because there's so many conspiracies surrounding that building, it would be hilarious if it was just iguanas. Like, the most, like, because even me, like, let's say I was a staunch conspiracy defender, and I was like, that just can't be. I would never, in my wildest dreams, be like, it's iguanas. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be my defense.
It's interesting if you say that the mob built them poorly or whatever, organized crime, and then organized crime lived in them, knowing they were shoddy, or maybe they thought they were good too, even though they're getting ripped off by the construction companies. Because he mentioned she stayed in Champlain Tower.
They are
one
the
that fell.
construction companies.
So they wouldn't necessarily stay in a building that they knew was shitty.
Probably not. Yeah. Maybe it was the iguanas. No, I was just saying the iguanas, like how they're all over the place and falling out of trees because they're freezing and then coming back to life. And people are getting hurt by them falling, eh? Like imagine you're just minding your own business and you fucking get knocked out by a falling iguana.
Filthy little iguana hits you in the face.
That bother you?
They're big, eh, Maddie? Like
I've seen an iguana, yeah.
they're not
gross.
little fucking lizards.
I'd like if we had iguanas here. They just
You'd
froze
like it?
and
Oh.
Came out in the summer.
No, I would not like that at
They
all.
are scary. They scare you.
Yeah, they're gross.
The
Lizards are gross.
Yes, lizards are gross.
I don't like snakes, and they don't even have legs. I definitely don't want fucking iguanas running around.
He's definitely not a fan of all the people moving
It's okay.
to Florida. Joe asked him, what do you think of all these people coming in? He's like,
Oh, wait, hold on. So maybe, wait for this, Kamar. Maybe he secretly is anti-vax. He just doesn't want all these people showing up.
That's interesting.
So he's pushing the cop a day dying of COVID thing to stop the inflow of people. Ha.
I mean, if you love your place, like let's say you loved Ottawa,
Yeah.
would you be out there like recruiting people to come to Ottawa? No, you'd be trying to keep it a secret.
No, I wouldn't do either. It's such a weird, like, where do you live?
There's no more room at Del
Boca Vista. Yeah. Del Boca Vista has no more fucking vacancies.
It was in the Tuscany where there's no more vacancies.
I can't
right?
remember.
Anyways. Don't even bother looking.
Trust me,
They
I
don't have
already
anything.
asked.
I thought it was a bit rude. You should welcome people to Florida with open arms. He's afraid other people are going to come there and make documentaries.
Yo, yeah, that's definitely what he's afraid of. Yeah.
I think he's more afraid that, like, I think right now maybe Florida's like half blue, half red, and he just assumes that there's going to be a fucking flood of red, which is probably more likely than not.
People are chasing that ideal.
I think everybody's just afraid of the homeless.
Well, that's everywhere, right? He said the tent cities and like that's everywhere now. That's just a common thing.
Well, I mean, California's about to lose another like 25% of its population, according to what.
They're going to get washed out to sea?
No. Gavin Newsom won the recall in a landslide, and now all these like Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin are both calling for Republicans to leave the the state.
To leave,
yeah,
I see.
To Texas or
Yeah,
Florida, whatever. Yeah, it's really being torn apart. He says more buildings are going to fall. That's sort of concerning. I imagine there's buildings that are, as we said before.
I mean, like Simon
Ready to
said,
go
it's
anytime
pretty much
now.
a city built on the fucking sand. So, what are you doing there?
The
Simon?
mayor has the best excuse for corruption. That he's a lawyer, so any conversation he
Yeah,
has,
listen, it's client privilege, man. Client.
which makes lawyers the best criminal.
Yeah.
You can always trust them.
Well, it's like that scene from The Wire where Omar's on the stand and Levy's like, the lawyer's like, you prey off of the drugs and the community. You're just like them. You're a parasite. And Omar looks at me. He's like, so are you. So you do the same shit. You're just making money off the drug game, same as me. It's the same shit.
Well written.
Well written.
Well, you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
actor saying.
R.I.P. Omar.
Michael K. Williams. Yeah.
Have you guys seen that clip of the Russian KGB agent saying?
I brought it up. I brought it up on this. Yeah.
It's old enough to be concerning that it's like legit.
It's 100% legit.
It's 100%. It's
There's no
happening.
fucking way it's not
And it's
legit.
they're
Like,
letting it happen to themselves.
Winds of change in reverse.
Because winds of change brought people together. We want to split people apart.
It was just about manipulating people, not about...
Well,
it's
yeah.
just great. Like, think
Together,
about it.
pushing them apart.
Imagine if you realized at some point that you were like, we don't have to fire a single bullet. We don't have to lose a single person. We don't have to do.
The coldest of
We
cold
can
wars.
stay here, home.
Yeah,
and just
we're
beat
just
them,
gonna make
and we're
them
just gonna
implode.
Yeah, we'll beat them this way. It's insane, and the fact that it's working is even crazier.
Everybody does it, though. They're all doing it. This
Well,
is
America's
just
done it forever.
winds of change. This is
Yeah.
just common practice, man.
But do you feel like America's losing right now?
My point, though, Simon, is it's odd to see it working against the states.
Yeah.
As well as it seems to be working.
Yep.
And us, because we're, when I say the states, we're the little brother up north. We just fucking do whatever.
But this is what happens when you get so involved in like these extracurricular, you know what I'm saying? And then,
You reap what you sow.
yeah, it really, when you look at it from like an outside, if you can like take a step outside of the box, it really feels like some sort of like history lesson being played out again. Like the Egyptians back in the day loved gold too much. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like we're all too far into the matrix now that we can't. There's no stepping back to look inside anymore.
I was thinking about the Matrix if someone, the designer or whatever, introduces virus just to spice things up. The simulation just wasn't interesting enough. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that part of it? Anyways, that is another thing.
I'm actually excited.
Or maybe
for that.
it is just a virus in the program. Like they created a program, and this is just.
I think what we can all agree on though is we're getting taken out by funny memes.
Yeah.
Like funny memes are just an unstoppable force, whether it comes from some Russian think tank or China. Like your first thing isn't what's this making me do or how it's trying to influence me. Is like, fuck.
I will say
They
this.
did it again.
I will say this though. I see so many memes that have the poorest of grammar or like a misspelling, and I immediately just think to myself like, I wonder what this Russian's been up to
Where-
last
Funny is
week.
the most important.
Where are you guys seeing all these memes all the time?
See memes everywhere. Reddit, Instagram. What are you talking about?
Any-
Facebook,
any
any
single
social media,
has memes on
the
it.
internet in general.
Like that with the Joe's face turning the horse.
Yeah, like where did you see that?
I'm sure that was on Instagram.
Reddit is pretty much, if you go to Joe Rogan's subreddit, it's like all
Everything
memes.
is
It's all
the
memes.
internet
yeah.
is memes. And it's
You go to
turning
our
us
Reddit,
apart.
half of it's memes.
It's not your Miami, it's Miami. I like that saying. Sort of, he's saying what the attitude in.
It's not
Miami
your
is.
Miami, it's Miami.
Yeah.
Then it got really interesting how he tried to tiptoe around critical race theory and how he's sort of in support of it. You know what I mean? And that's where I thought they had the biggest rift because he was saying white privilege has to be taught and like kids need to know that they're racist from the get-go and that. And
I don't think that, to me, that's not what critical race theory is.
No,
They're
but
not trying to teach that.
there's oppression. This is the argument.
Yeah.
Like you can teach in high school or university when people are critical thinking, but it's the same thing as going out of your way to teach young kids about cross-dressing or gender, or it's sort of may implant something in their head, and it might not be.
So then how do you, but let me ask you this.
Complicating it.
Let me ask you this. How do you teach history to grade 5s then?
You just teach the basic history we learned, I guess, and it's keep us ignorant. Like I don't feel we were racist in not learning that when we were kids that the system was set up to discriminate against First Nations and stuff like that. I came aware of that whole.
But had
Yeah, but you don't think that would have helped a large swath of Canadians that probably don't treat First
If I
Nations?
was walking around feeling guilty, like I had done something as a 6-year-old,
That's not what I'm.
or whatever.
I think you look at
10-year-olds.
it. You look at it in a weird way. Like I don't even think a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old looks at it like they just are learning about the world and they're very capable of learning something and then being like cool and moving on. It's like the gay argument. Like you can just explain to a kid, hey, that guy likes guys. Boom,
But
we've
that-
moved on.
It should end there. It shouldn't be like going to fetishes and stuff like that.
No, you don't have to.
So
but
you're
I'm,
older, then you can teach anything you want.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like, I think that being more upfront and honest, I'm not saying you have to do it in kindergarten, but teaching the real history would have probably helped for sure.
Well, Billy agrees, and I felt it was the most awkward. Like when they were talking about COVID and stuff, I thought that was less awkward than this. Like Joe pushed back further against that he disagreed with him. He's like, agree to disagree. Like,
I mean, this is why Joe moved to Texas, because I just like, I don't know.
I think the DNC may be the most corrupt of all the political parties, and Billy doesn't see that. I thought that was a bit of a short-sighted.
I don't see how you don't see both parties as equally corrupt. That seems crazy to me.
The RNC did not want Donald Trump to be their leader. Mm-hmm. So if they were corrupt enough, they would have
Yeah, but they want to win.
made
They
it
want
Marco Rubio, whatever.
they want to win above all.
I don't know. I don't know if it started that way. We've seen Bernie screwed over and over and again.
I agree. Oh, for sure. I'm not saying the DNC
And
is
even-
not
It
corrupt
looks-
as fuck.
I think they're the most corrupt though. Or they're so bad at politics. I think the Republicans are more like clunky and can't can't be sneaky like this. You know what I mean? They wear their heart on their sleeves, it seems like. But somehow, some way, someone is running America right now, and it's not Joe Biden.
The whole system is corrupt. No matter who wins, it's all corrupt.
When Donald Trump was president, it felt like whether he was doing it the wrong way, it felt like he was making these bad decisions, not someone on Joe's behalf. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yay and nay. I think
corrupt is corrupt, but it
he's
seems
not
less
smart enough to be.
Yeah, he was doing
those.
wild stuff. That's why he got kicked off.
It seems odd, even what you're saying seems odd that. So you want the president to have no one in their ear ever, and they just make decisions. Like you just want one person in charge in a room.
Someone gets the facts and makes a decision. Someone doesn't.
No,
get told
shouldn't
what to
it
do.
be though? Like if I was.
But why is it told?
Shouldn't
what to
you
do?
get the smartest
that's how
minds, get all the
that's how their
opinions you
government
can,
works.
and then make your decision?
That's yeah. But
So, but you're saying no.
You think Bill Biden's doing that?
No, I think
exactly.
No, it's not exactly. Stop. You do this all the time, Kumar. This is the thing. That's not what we're talking about. You think you've made your point, then you just move on. That's all. What we're saying is this: if Joe Biden is president, and someone, let's say, I don't want to use health because this is a very hot topic right now, but let's say someone from transportation comes to him and is like, "We need to overhaul all the highways for safety of whatever." This is a terrible example, but we need to do this. Joe Biden then does it. You're like, well, he's a puppet to what? Transportation?
I don't know. But weeks ago we agreed on that he's not in control. But I think Trump was in control for better or for worse. You guys can disagree. I'm not trying to make a point.
So what about Obama?
As in control as Trump was, but definitely owned by the banks.
No, but you could see with Obama, like pretty clearly, he started out, had all these ideas, got into office, couldn't do shit. Second term, played the game a little more.
George W. was Dick Cheney. We know that. Or we can assume that from what we've seen from media. We don't have to trust what we believe.
But there you go. But hold on. But wait.
Ronald
Wait,
Reagan
but there's a good example, Kamar, is like, you can say like right now the DNC is absolutely the most corrupt, but like it's an ebb and flow. That's what I'm saying. They're both terribly corrupt.
I can say what I want. Like I could be wrong. I think they're the most corrupt.
Sure.
We can argue it out, but we don't know. Like Billy doesn't think the DNC is corrupt. He likes Hillary Clinton.
Did he
That's
say
all I'm
that?
saying.
He liked Hillary Clinton?
He said the most qualified person for the job. I hire people. Yeah, he loves Hillary Clinton.
I mean, she was more qualified for the job than Donald Trump.
She was, but she didn't get elected. But
no, I agree, but I'm just stating the fact.
A little bit blinded that way. You guys disagree? It's all right.
I didn't even hear him saying that. Like, I didn't like Hillary Clinton.
But she would have done a better job, we think.
I don't know who would have done it.
She was the most qualified person.
I can't say she would have done a
might have
better
been
job.
the most qualified. I don't think she would have done a better job than Donald Trump. I think it would have been horrible in a totally different way.
First of all,
I don't think
Bernie
the
was the most
country
qualified.
would be
So
as divided.
if we're really talking about it, out of anyone that had a chance of winning that presidential election, Bernie was by
And
far
he
the most
was
qualified, and he was
100%
ousted.
screwed by
Yes,
the DNC.
yeah, I'm 100% behind you there. Couldn't agree more.
He also took the line of Twitter being private business. So drew his line in the sand, which you always say.
Yeah.
He defended it not being a town square, but he used the no shoes, no shirt, no service.
The question should be not whether it is or isn't right now. It's whether it should be, I guess, right? Like, should it become a town square where everybody has the right to do it?
No, because then you could, like, again, your argument before was if they're swaying elections, then it should be a public service or a utility or whatever. And like, we know that Joe's podcast can sway elections, so we wouldn't want someone telling Joe who he couldn't have on. You know what I mean? Like, I just look at it as exactly the same thing.
No, it's different though. One is the host and the other is a show. You know what I mean?
Like I said, though, we live in a world of, it's capitalistic. If we all stop using Twitter, they will stop being this way. People like Joe and Billy continue to use it, so we end up right where we fucking are and nothing changes.
Yeah, I know. The problem.
Your point is if you want to change, everyone's just going to say, fuck it.
I will stand by that till the day I die. Yeah,
And they will cave or do whatever they can to get
But
everyone
money,
back.
we know for a fact they will. Money talks, always.
Always. So it's never going to change. And people want it to change. So in order for that to happen, it needs to become a utility.
Yeah, listen, I'm taking the right-wing conservative approach here to this topic, which is what I'm saying. You wouldn't want them doing this to your business. You wouldn't want to create a successful business and then have the government come and decide, hey, you're a utility now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that. In this case, though, the only people it's hurting are these companies that have become these like mega billionaire companies, right? So at this point, it would just open up this whole field for some underdogs to have a chance to make some money now. Like, but here's the thing.
It's
the precedent.
Just hear me out. Like, there's always the argument, like, well, you can't be bigger than Google now. You can't even make a Google, competitor. These guys buy up companies left, right, and center. So you can. Like, Instagram was created in someone's fucking basement, garage, room, whatever. You can make, like, there's nothing stopping someone from making, other than, again, we've talked about it, money. You could make.
No, that's why you need the reset.
But even then, think about a social media platform. We've done this before. If we created it right now and we were just like, it's Wild West, we're not going to make any money. So you're going to have to, like, you're never going to create a social media that doesn't have, let's do it right now.
What
okay?
if there was no other place for the advertisers to advertise, then they would be willing to advertise on places where they're scared to now. Like, I disagree.
Okay, so we'll start with point A. We create, right now, the three of us create a website, a social media platform, and we decide there's no rules, okay? Wild West, right? Right away, there's child pornography. So what do?
Well, we banned the child pornography.
Okay, so we've already started down the road of banning. So we've picked one thing that we're banning. Now, why do we ban?
Well, listen, Matt, we're the kings. We can do whatever we want.
So we make child pornography legal.
No, we ban it.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So, like, we've now
just playing with you.
Yeah, we're now the auditors of. It's just a weird slippery slope of, like,
everybody in the end is going to end up like Google, is what you're saying. No matter how small you start.
I'm saying, like, there could be, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Billy plans on wearing masks moving forward. He likes that extra level of protection.
Just for flying, he said.
I'm sure there'll be any group situation.
He said just for flying, so don't put words in Billy's mouth.
I'm putting words in his mouth. Do you guys think
he can do what he wants, Simon?
Yeah, he can. Do you guys?
No,
think,
you.
Do you guys think you will mask up more, or like once no one says you have to wear masks? I mean, you don't go on planes, so
no. I'm gonna mask up if I'm sick.
For the benefit of other people.
For the benefit of other people. Come on, I'm gonna mask up when I'm sick.
And you don't go in large group situations.
And I don't go, well, I might, who knows, but.
You would not mask
Listen,
up.
I want the masks to be gone. I was under my understanding was that once we got 2 needles, no more masks. This whole everybody keep wearing the mask thing is news to me.
No, but there was people before this who wore masks. You notice, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think people should wear masks.
And I think people will start to wear masks more.
Maybe
commonplace.
Kind of like Asia.
But right now, if you don't wear the mask, you're the asshole.
Yes.
There's going to come a point where if you're wearing a mask, you're the asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's going to happen. Hopefully, at some point, that will happen.
Well, no, anyone can do what they want. I think Tiger King would still break through. They're saying it only broke through because it happened at the perfect time of the pandemic. But I really think that would have caught on.
Yeah, I think that documentary would have done good no matter when it came out.
Second someone saw it, called someone, spread it. Like,
there's no way you heard that guy speak, saw that mullet, found out he was gay, saw the guy with no teeth, and we're like, you know what? I'm done with this.
The guy with no arm, like, come on.
There's no way, right?
That thing wrote itself.
They were completely
There's too much going on there.
Well,
the other guy, the woman killing her husband, it would have done amazing.
There's no way.
Kamar, if I came to you with the Tiger King script that I had written, verbatim, you wouldn't buy it. You'd be like, this is too overblown.
Well, you'd have to fly to Florida just to see it for yourself.
No, but no. What I'm saying is
falling over yourselves to agree with me.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Simon, is I wrote a screenplay called Tiger King, and I don't tell you it's based on anyone.
Oh, it should be
I'm just like, this came out of my head. You'd be like, this is too overblown. No one would believe this.
This is what I mean. You'd have to go to Florida.
There's no way this
flies
under the radar. And they're like, no, just. I don't think they said if that came out in normal time, I don't think it would.
Yeah, no, I
think they're completely wrong on that one. Why is Netflix so cryptic? You know, they say they won't tell your numbers, and he says
So they don't want to pay the contracts.
they go,
That's
but
why.
they go to us. They go, this documentary. What do you think they have in common? And he goes, cocaine and big tits. Like, do more of that. There's sort of like they could say, if you do this, this, and this, it's a winner. You know what I mean?
I did think that was really interesting how they said they won't tell you the numbers, and then that way you can't say, hey, we did these numbers, pay me this. You're just always going into these negotiations blind. It's pretty fucking like diabolically brilliant.
But they sneakily will tell you a little
yeah,
crumb.
this is what you want to do if you want to be,
Or that might work.
if you want to get an A on your term paper.
I will say this: and I can't believe I'm defending them. The only reason I think it's okay is because how in debt they are.
Oh, they got to make their money some way.
Well, what I'm saying is they're so in debt that they're paying most people handsomely. I don't think anyone who does a Netflix project is leaving like a UFC fighter like pants,
But they can't
pockets.
give him any leverage.
I think you'd be surprised, but go on.
My point is just like, again, they gave Chappelle $100 million for 2. So I don't think he was like angry about his bargaining power there, but they're $8 billion in debt.
But that's for Chappelle. Like for the little guys just doing docs, like
Like, I wonder how much Billy Corbin got for this.
Probably more than he would have gotten if he had made it pre-Netflix.
Cocaine
Are we all in
Cowboys.
agreement there?
for sure, 100%.
Well, that's all I'm saying is like, I don't think you can complain if you were in a situation where you would have had to go sell this yourself to theaters and stuff.
But 10 years ago, before streaming, no documentary gets that kind of fucking.
And this is what I'm
eyes
saying.
on
And
it.
now he probably gets a huge check up front to make the thing. He gets
He might be able to do his own right now. Whereas he puts the doc up, it's $5.
maybe, yeah.
his own
Go the
channel
Louis
at this
C.K.
point.
way, yeah.
I don't know if enough people know about him.
He says people come up and say, you're from Miami? Have you heard of Cocaine Cowboys? He's saying it's come around full circle.
Maybe.
Kamar, when I walk around Ottawa, every third person's like, "Are you Matt Floyd from the Joe Rogan Experience?" It's staggering lately. I mean,
Like
I can't.
if I told my wife, do you know who Billy Corbin is?
Yeah.
She would think
She would say
the
Smashing Pumpkins.
and she would have no idea who the other Billy Corbin
But
was.
if you asked her, does she know what Cocaine Cowboys is?
I don't think she would know.
Halima would
enough.
know. Your wife's not dumb.
Maybe, but I just don't think it's as big as like he's not like a rock star.
I know your answer already. Do you think just getting the full series is the only way to go now? Are there any shows you'll watch and wait?
Well, I have to now because there's nothing to watch, and that's how they're doing it again. I hate it.
You do hate it.
I hate
I
it.
knew that was your
I'll
answer.
put it to you
Fucking
this way.
bullshit.
I like having the power to, if I want to binge watch it, do it. But I don't do that anymore, to be honest. I usually watch.
Time. You don't have the time to go that deep.
I don't have a job. What do you mean I don't have the time? All I have is time. No, it's just that I don't like. I find that I get burnt out. Like
You're too into it.
especially if it's a
Loses
drama.
thing.
Like if it's The Office, I can watch 10 episodes of The Office in a row because it's not taxing. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm okay with everything Matt said there. He wants to watch it his way. I want to watch it my way. They shouldn't be deciding the way we watch TV, Matt. We're grown men.
I
You know?
agree.
Dump them all at once. You can spread them out over a fucking year if you want and all binge watch. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I think they have a weird concern that people will like, and you know what? I've had this concern. It's weird. I don't know why, but like that someone will sign up for the month just to binge watch. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you don't have Netflix, but you're like, okay, well, Ozark season 4 is coming out. I'm
They
gonna
do that
pay my
weekly.
$12.
Billions they do weekly.
I mean, listen, that's like Amazon complaining about fucking something.
Because I agree.
Can't
The old
complain
listen,
about nothing when
the
you're
old
making, like,
model
$1
of
billion.
TV of making people wait is ridiculous. It's obscene.
You would prefer
Well,
to get all
they're
your
doing
Seinfelds.
it again, Matt. That's how things are being released.
Not
now.
all of them.
A lot of them.
HBO usually does that.
Yeah, HBO does that. Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
But on the other end, you could just wait.
But I can't because I'm so impatient.
So there are some series you watch that you.
I mean, it's hilarious that you're sitting here saying you're impatient when you'll binge watch 12 episodes of something and then you'll be forced to wait 2 calendar years for the next season. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous. What do you mean?
I know, but I'm just saying is you do that. We all do that.
It should come out before it's
we
even
have
done.
no
Just-
choice. I'm at
just
the mercy of these
raw
things.
reels.
But
But
for a
hold on.
while, the trend was just give them everything.
I know.
And let them make their own minds up.
The point you didn't think, the point I didn't get across there was that the way it used to work was like that for a reason. They were done filming, or they filmed it weekly, but it was usually like Sopranos, for example, right? They've done filming everything, and it's released weekly, so it doesn't seem like that big a gap between seasons.
Oh, if they put it all out, you could watch it 1 week and you get away the whole year. If they get
Oh,
at
I
least
see.
6
Yeah.
weeks. Out of
Yeah.
it.
Okay, fine.
That's
But
what I'm saying. If it's especially if it's a 12 episode season, you know what I mean? That's fucking 3 or 4 months.
either way,
That's
again,
value.
let me make up my own mind.
I just remember for me, I think it was when The Sopranos they were trying to re-sign James Gandolfini, and there was I think it was 2.5 or 3.5 years between season 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. That was absurd. And that's, give the people what they want.
Well, that's we experienced that with COVID. All these
And the
shows
writer's
stopped.
strike a few years ago. Remember that too? That was
I'll tell you, the Game of Thrones, for example.
Yeah.
There's a show that
Weekly.
there are so many things going on in each episode that you might not see Daenerys for 4 episodes. So if you're waiting every week and you like Daenerys, do you see what I'm
Forget you
driving
cared.
at?
You'd prefer getting your Game of Thrones at your disposal.
I watched it again, in one huge chunk. It's a way better show.
the funniest thing about this conversation is that it really actually boils down to self-control, because there's absolutely nothing stopping you from waiting until the whole series is released.
Yep.
And the other problem is
And there's nothing stopping you from planning out your life properly and watching it in increments if that's what you want to do. But we're all in agreement that we should be able to make up our own minds.
Simon, I want to say this. Netflix also has a lot of shows now that they're filming weekly. That's why that's why you have to wait an episode a week, because they're literally releasing it like South Park, where they start on Monday, they're done by Friday, it's released Saturday.
you know what happens sometimes when you
Okay.
binge too? You fall asleep.
I find phones are the biggest issue. If I want to watch something to watch it, my phone's going in another room.
Oh, you don't want to be distracted.
I will be distracted.
I find 3 episodes in, I fall asleep and wake up 2
then
episodes
you have to
later
find- yeah,
and think I
fuck.
watch it. I think I'm more present if it's just weekly. That's it for Billy Corbin. Rate 'em, boys.
I like this episode. I give it a 3.5.
I will mirror that 3.5.
It was the most civil disagreement you know what I mean?
Well, the first disagreement you thought was civil. The second one you thought got a little. You thought the critical race.
I still think they worked through it.
Yeah, fair enough, but-
I just thought that they were way more not being able to find common ground than they were on issues that maybe someone else, Joe, would have pushed back harder or whatever.
That's why I think
he
I
shut
should-
it down and
that-
said, "We're not doctors. Let's not talk about it."
That's what I meant, though, is I think this guy knows he has that golden ticket.
And I think he's never going to be on the podcast again.
I disagree.
I give it a 2.
All right, we are going to take a break. We're going to pay not 1, but 2 bills, and then we'll be right back. We're back. Thank you to BetterHelp and BetDSI. Links will be in the description. Go check them out.
What?
Chain running. 1707, Kurt Metzger and Kyle Dunnigan.
The Pussies.
Why do you keep calling them the Pussies?
That's the name of their show. It's The Pussies.
Oh, it's actually called the
Yes.
Pussies. Oh, I thought you were being derogatory this whole time.
No.
I called them the sycophants.
You call them whatever you want.
Show off.
Just people who agree with Joe no matter what.
Yes. Well, he's putting them on, so they're in a...
And Matt made a good point that Kyle
certain position.
Dunnigan obviously was about to be nothing until Joe started.
Kyle Dunnigan.
Kyle Dunnigan owes everything to Joe.
I didn't know he dated Sarah Silverman.
I also did not know that.
Who would have known anything
I also
he
did not know
before
that.
Joe started talking about him?
And he has such a such a
Joe
long,
started talking
a long
about
neck.
They're
does have a long
they're
neck.
definitely yin and yang, though.
Kyle and
Kurt.
Kurt, yeah.
I mean, last time Kurt was on, he was on one, but he's also with Owen Benjamin. and it was almost
Oh my
insufferable.
God, that was so long ago.
so long ago.
That was the last time Kurt was on. No,
That was
he's
not-
been on
Agent
since.
of That was
not the
He's
last
been
time.
on since.
No, he's not been on.
Yes, he has.
Hold on. I'm sure he has.
I'll find it right
Well,
now.
for
so-
purposes of this podcast, he's not been on.
Okay, well, he has.
He was, maybe he has been, but
Yeah.
he was
Is it Kurt with a K?
a lot
Yeah.
more palatable this episode.
Yeah, he's got. I'd like Kurt Metzger. I don't know.
I found he interrupted a bit.
The
but-
way they play off each other, they make a whole person.
I'm not sure I got that so much. Like I was with Matt.
April 22nd, 2020.
So
Kurt
the last
Metzger.
time we saw him was with Benjamin.
No, that would have been in like fucking 1996.
But
This is why he doesn't do the movie thing. It has to be the last 3 years.
if you're new, you want to go check out the Patreon. We did a throwback where we listened to Owen Benjamin's crazy ass and Kurt Metzger.
And it's very interesting to see how he's changed so much.
That's what I was gonna say, Kamar. It wasn't during the time we did a throwback for that one. It could have been fucking 10
It
years
was just a
ago.
plug for the Patreon, which will be mandated, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry. About it. None of you can listen unless you fucking get anti-unvaccinated.
No, Kyle Dunnigan is like a bumbling, holding onto the spectrum. If he doesn't have help, he's a autistic genius.
Am I wrong, or was the last time he was on, did you mention that he doesn't make a lot of eye contact or any?
It was not me, and Kyle Dunnigan's been on before.
Yes.
Oh my god, I thought this was his first time.
What? Really?
been on
my
twice.
big note. Oh wow, this shows the
I
research.
don't know if
I've
he's
done.
been on twice. I think he's
Here
been
I go.
on
Back to the
once,
here I
but
go.
And
Back
this
to the
is his
phone.
second
This is his second
appearance.
time, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Who knows?
Well, no, he is
He's
like,
definitely been on before.
He's so socially awkward. It starts with the ice fiasco, where they pass the ice bucket. And he puts
yeah,
his hand-
that was-
the ice
that
is just
was
like,
awesome.
What are you doing? And then he kept like doing one ice cube at a time.
Well, dude, it's the smallest little thing. I don't know if you noticed when Joe started doing it, he had to do it the same
Then
way.
we like just put the glasses in, but it was just like he was the one who asked for the booze to loosen it up.
It was funny.
And Joe just surrendered his sabbatical. Like, I'm not drinking for a month, but crack it open.
Why-
Kyle Dunnigan was on June 21st of 2018 and June 18th of 2020.
This is his third time on.
His third time.
No eye contact, Kyle. So awkward. How do we get? I guess his success has allowed him to have better stories. Because he's sort of like floundering. I found like Joe was loving his content, but he was like, I can't get traction, or you know.
I mean,
what
Kurt kept interrupting him too. That didn't help.
No, I mean, sorry.
Oh, you're talking about
Kyle's
before.
previous
Yes,
thing was
yes.
like.
Well,
yeah,
he
I'm
was-
glad you like it, Joe. I just wish
He was in the
someone else liked
comedy
it.
scene, obviously, because he was dating Sarah Silverman. That was
He
all
was a comedian. He was,
pre-Joe.
he was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
But even then, it's interesting to hear him say, I was a stand-up comedian, but I never did impressions. Because considering how
Thought that was going to pigeonhole him.
considering
or
how
call him.
good he is, like his Bill Maher is fucking ridiculous.
He's sort of like
An idiot savant.
a Martin Short though. Like when
Yeah.
he tries to be normal, he can't. But when he acts or he's doing a character, like
Yeah.
puts him in this weird comfort zone. Where
What
he
was
can
that
behave.
character that Martin Short did? The big fat
Jiminy
guy?
Glick.
Jiminy Glick.
the best. Some say he's like the best at that.
Martin Short.
Martin Short, like Ali G did it. Like
Yeah.
of all the people, Jimmy Glick is really good. So what do you do again?
Yeah, you know who ended up being amazing at
Zach
that? Yeah,
Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis is so fucking good at
you've
that.
got to give him the credit.
I love when he asked Paul Rudd, he goes, so for any aspiring young actors, how do you hide being a Jew so well in Hollywood?
And their expressions are everything.
That one's so good. I love what he asked Brad Pitt though. Like I know that one's the most played out, but it's really fun.
What does he ask him? I don't remember.
It's something about Angelina Jolie.
Oh, okay. Cool punchline.
I don't remember.
I know,
what the
it's-
thing was.
I'll look it up.
It
It's
seemed
funny.
like every time Kyle opened his mouth, like to try to talk about, like they talked about the web name thing, it just got. It needed Kurt to bring it back, like in the zone. I don't know. I thought they.
I felt kind
Right
of
off
bad
each
for
other
Kyle
great.
though. There was like Kurt at one point is like, tell him about your neck. And so he tells him about his neck, and Joe is just like deadpan, and Kurt's dying. And then Kyle is smoking a cigar, kind of like just waiting for Joe to react at all. And is like, okay, sweet, no reaction. And
Oh, I
Joe-
thought Joe was cracking up, and that's why.
If you
like, I
watch
thought
it-
he couldn't breathe. That, you know what I'm saying?
no, that was after when they were talking about him being the bird that dunks his head in
Oh
the.
yeah, that was so funny.
That was funny, yeah.
And they're talking about O.J. Simpson. who's the reason that
Norm got
fired from SNL. I thought it was a nice time.
Hey, Twitter world.
Then they started talking about diversity casting and totally got lost.
Yeah.
They got lost with them. Like it got out of control. He's telling the story. He's the orator of the story, but he doesn't want to get canceled. And Kurt's like, it's all fucking bullshit. And I just got lost in it.
What are we even talking about?
Them. Then they hired. They were talking about diversity hiring. Like they would not know how a white guy would get a job in a writing room right now. Just
No, that's not what they said. They said there's just always has to be like one.
Kurt said, I do not know how you'd go about doing it
Oh,
now.
because then they started talking about the they.
And they got lost in them.
Right, yeah,
And they
gotcha.
did not do a good job.
I mean,
But then they started talking about the clown. Like, Kyle Dunnigan has the best references. I don't know if they're supported by anything, but did you see the clown guy?
yeah.
The old man?
Yeah, I went and looked at it.
And it made me think of Steve-O. They were
'cause he
shitting on
was-
clowns, like,
Yeah, and Steve-O started as a clown, yeah.
and
in
legitimately
Sarasota, I
believes
believe.
in it.
So did somebody else, or whose dad was a clown, a comedian. No, you don't remember? Doesn't matter.
Well, don't forget,
Father
too.
was a clown.
Was actually a clown.
Clowns are
yeah.
scary looking.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like it gets lost on me.
After it, like you can never, and Poltergeist.
I think they only serve as distractions to bulls, and that's why they should be clowns at the rodeo. You know. Mm-hmm. Kyle, on the other hand, grew up in a room full of clowns.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
his
so
mom
many
sounds like
things.
quite the fucking
My grandmother, she was like a collector lady person.
yeah.
She had a room in her house called the doll room, and it was just everything you would imagine, like George Costanza's mom there.
Yeah.
Or no, it was, what's her name? George's wife,
Susan.
Susan.
Yeah, with the dolls.
Yeah. She had a room like that. There were some fucking creepy dolls in there.
Do you
hate
feel
doll people.
Do you feel douchey when you show your art to someone?
Simon doesn't show his art. We know
Like, you know,
this.
they were talking about actors who would like bring a girl home and like their foreplay would be showing their
the
acting.
weirdest shit ever.
It's so you know what I mean. I don't even like playing comedy for someone or
Well, it's the same idea as like, oh, do you want me to play you a song? You know,
well, but
you want to be able to show off your
if that's
talent.
what you do.
Like, oh, do you want to watch me juggle knives?
I mean, I would say yes to that 10 times out of 10. I'm not going to lie.
There are some talents that are going to be harder to show the ladies.
But could you like send her a DVD home with a DVD? Like, check out my stuff. Like to do it in the presence it's fucking awkward. But he explained why actors are mentally ill. Because you know everything in life is like, don't take it personally. Like it's literally the most personal thing. Like we don't like you. It's you.
You know,
You said the lines, but we don't like you.
You know what,
is
though?
the one thing that you take so personally?
Yeah, but I knew a lot of actors that all said the same thing. They were like, you see the same casting agents a lot, and you have a rapport with them. It's not that you don't take it personal because like you have this good rapport, and they're like, you're just not great for this role, but eventually you do get some roles. Hopefully, I mean, again, if you're the type of actor who never gets any roles because you're trash, then yeah, but you're probably also not
It
too
means
mentally.
no one likes you.
But keep in mind, Kumar, you're
Even in your scenario, they grow to like you, then you get the roles and you get in the game.
You're forgetting, though, that there's just like when you watch American Idol, there are so many people out there who don't have a good friend or who are so oblivious to their lack of skill. It's like you know this. Dude, how many people show up to open mic still that have been doing it 10 years, have not gotten any better, and still call themselves comedians or still like, there's so many delusional people out there that get no laughs, but are like, I'm going to keep plugging away at it.
Yeah, but even their delusional, say it was the people or whatever. And I guess the actor says it was the casting director, but I just
That's
think
it.
it's the most personal rejection there is.
It's hard. I hear what you're saying. Like, you're really putting yourself out there.
You're really putting yourself. I'm going to act like
In order to succeed, you have to be judged.
The thing that you
but
wanna do
isn't
the
that
most,
the same with
you're not doing
everything,
good.
really?
But I mean, again, you're also talking about like, it's a weird thing because you know that there's not a lot of roles, right? So you got to go in being like,
Yeah, you put yourself up for a certain amount of like punishment from the beginning, knowing that, you know,
I
there
think
are only
I think it's more direct personal punishment than even like bombing on stage. It's going into a audition.
No, I think
Give
it's,
your.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I get what you're saying.
This
Like,
is why Joe said they're crazy, and I said I agree.
I mean, if you're having a terrible day, your worst day, and you go to your 4th audition that day, and like, I have a good story. One of my teachers told me that his worst audition, he was doing it like via Zoom, before it was Zoom, but they did it like via video. And he said it was 3 people in LA, and he said he was doing a monologue, and mid-monologue, he just heard someone get up and walk out, and he heard the door shut, and he was like, and I have to just keep, he's like, I had like 2 minutes of my monologue left. You have to keep doing it. And he's like, it was.
Take that personally.
Yeah, he's like.
If you're riveting, they'd stay.
I'm just saying, though, again, like he didn't take it like, he was like, that was my worst, but you know.
Is he crazy?
Is he crazy? No.
He's a grounded actor.
Yeah, he got work, yeah.
Exception to Joe's rule. Shout out to you for editing. Kyle talks about editing all the time.
Yeah, well,
Like,
what
it-
I
it
do
makes
is
you
not
crazy.
anywhere near
Well,
what
not
he
compared
does.
to what he's doing, but I just maybe shout out. That's hard work. You do it. I'm grateful you do it. And then he comes up with Williams, the friendly disease.
Which isn't even true.
He's like, as a matter of fact, there's one disease that's good.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost like it's material.
he had a whole bit loaded.
Yeah.
The only side effect is you're friendly. Then they look it up. And like, it makes you semi-retarded. It's like, wow, you didn't have to look into it. I just want to share my funny thing. Then they talked about Rolling Stone magazine. We talked about the credibility already. Then a lot of COVID talk. And Kurt was more out there, and Kyle is just like trying to tread the waters and not say anything. I just thought it was hilarious there.
Yeah, Kurt just wanted to talk about ivermectin. That's all he wanted to do.
And it's not that the information is bad; it's the misinformation that's bad. That just makes doubt, like why the news are saying it's horse dewormer. Like anyone drawing their own conclusions now create conspiracies. So I don't think the information about social distancing or any of that's bad. You know what I mean? But then being disingenuous sort of torpedoes all your credibility.
Yeah, for sure. And
I find, and they keep going.
it all started with Fauci and the masks.
Yeah.
Like right from the very start of this goddamn thing, it started with a fucking lie.
Which is weird, too.
No, it's not a lie. We believe the masks do something.
No, he said
No.
right off the bat, he was like,
Oh,
remember, he was
says,
like, don't use
"Don't need
masks.
for a mask."
Yeah.
But he was saying that
Well, that's what he says,
to
yeah.
serve the. So
Yeah.
what is even the truth now?
The weirdest part about that, though, is like, dude, you're in the upper levels of government. You guys can just go out and put a blockade on like the selling of masks.
They didn't want to cause pandemonium by doing that. Like if people saw that, they'd be like, "Oh my god!"
Guess
they're
what there
doing
was
this. It
anyway?
means we're in big
Pandemonium,
trouble.
like,
no.
ridiculous.
Except it was toilet paper, not masks. You know?
No, but there were people gouging masks. I remember the FBI raided some place that had like 50,000 masks in New York that they were price gouging. Sorry, Kumar, what were we talking about there?
We were talking about Rose McGowan
She's the worst.
flipping the script. No, but she came with the Me Too, and now she's against the Hollywood elite, who she said Gavin Newsom's wife came to her and said, like, pipe down about Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein claims that he had sex with Jennifer Lawrence,
Wow.
I believe it.
and she vehemently denies it.
I would too.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well, she's done very well. She's super hot too. Underrated. Like when she's in the Hunger Games, I didn't see it, but then
She's a good actress.
she's amazing. She's amazing. Do you know Gavin Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco?
Yeah. Well, they brought it up like 7 times.
Isn't it so strange? Like this guy
No,
leaves.
I didn't know that.
This guy leaves debacle in his wake. I don't think they fix the election, but he's not a good person. As far
I mean,
as
you're forgetting, though, that,
corruption
like,
stuff goes.
California is a huge state. Most of the state doesn't know your track record. If you've never been, like, if you live in Southern California, you've never
No
been
one's
to,
doing their own research.
yeah, and you're like, fuck, I don't know who this guy is.
But maybe he's a nice guy, but I think he might be like
He's
a
probably a piece of shit.
garbage.
He's probably a piece of shit.
And then there was the divorce with the art collection.
Yep.
We're 600 million, I think.
Yep.
And Joe got really upset with the painting. Did you see any of the paintings?
I did, yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I believe that something is worth whatever someone will pay for it. But I also believe art like that is a way for
To
like
be douchey.
No, I think
Oh, no,
people,
sorry.
just like people say with NFTs, I truly believe it's a way to launder money. across the board for the most part.
Take something that's not worth anything.
Yep. Put a
Put it
huge
into
amount of
something
value
else.
to it, move the money around. You know, I think outside of like the Banksies or maybe the classics like a Picasso, a Monet, you know what I mean? I feel like modern art like that, especially stuff like that. At least Banksy has like a message where you could be like, I understand what, you know.
And at least he sells them for $20 randomly.
Yeah, and then someone
Someone gets
resells it. Yeah, precisely. It's so I don't know. It's a weird one.
Did you understand what they're saying about that Leonardo da
Vinci.
Well, no, the painting, how it's like,
Yeah, it's well
it
they
took them 10 years to like take chip by chip of paint off.
I mean,
the painting was
they found a famous art. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? When you make fake art.
Forgery.
Thank you. They found an art forger, and they figured it out because he was doing all of his forgeries on old dogs playing poker. So like, there's a lot of classic canvases, Kamar, that have layers upon layers of like they just reuse their canvases.
and the further down you go, but who could afford to do that? That's the best story ever.
What's crazy to
Is
me
finding
is
something at a yard sale.
Oh, those are the best.
That's
and
the
it's
best- that's the best
real
story, yeah.
Picasso or something.
that's a great documentary. Who the fuck is Jackson Pollock? Have you seen that one?
I don't think I have.
This woman, this dude's driving by, like, he's in like rural Tennessee, and he drives by this trailer, and he sees on the lawn what he is certain is a original Jackson Pollock.
On the lawn, just like out to the elements.
Well, it's on like a piece of wood, so it's sitting, yes, just out to the elements. So he goes up to this woman and he's like, "Excuse me, like, I'm pretty sure you have a Jackson Pollock here." And she's like, "Who the fuck is Jackson Pollock?" That's obviously, hey, there it is. He convinces her to get the thing tested, and she goes through this long process of getting it. Like, they took a paint sample from Jackson Pollock's original studio, and they took a paint sample from this painting, and it matched like 99 point whatever. But there's this one Jackson Pollock art certifier in New York that will not certify it. He just refuses. He's like, it just can't be.
Yes, I think I've seen that.
So it's all about her or her son really trying to move, because she spent like a decade.
You've told us about this before. It's ringing a bell.
Okay,
but
I apologize
No,
if I have, yeah.
no. I
no
just
need to
definitely haven't
apologize.
seen it.
It's really good. The craziest is this. Someone offers her 10 million for it, and she won't take it because she's like, if this is a Jackson Pollock, it's worth 100 million.
But she didn't
200
know,
million.
right? The other guy sort of brought it to her, and then she took on the crusade.
She was throwing darts at it, Kamar. That's the best part of the movie.
Exactly.
She's like, me and my neighbor were using it for darts, but she bought it at a yard sale for like $1 or something.
It makes me think that can never happen with NFTs.
No, because they're all
You
certified.
won't
yeah.
ever be able to find an NFT.
There's no forgeries anymore.
There's no way to like. I just happened upon this NFT at a garage sale.
Yeah.
like
You could find a wallet.
That's not true. You could, yeah, like Simon's saying, you could find, but you wouldn't have the seed for it, so it's useless.
Somebody could have written it out on the key. You never know. You know, like
That
giving
would
you
be
all the
hands down
info
the
on
dumbest
the
human
key.
being alive.
Things
throws out a
have
Picasso?
dumber things have happened.
who throws darts at a Jackson Pollock?
But Simon is technically, if you found like a seed and the wallet, then yeah, you might find a 10 million worth of NFTs. Who knows?
Well, I think we just discussed why an NFT actually has more
Value, then yeah, potentially.
legitimacy than even a painting.
I like the idea of being able to find things at garage sales. Personally,
Yeah, NFTs taking that away. Michael Winslow is the most amazing
Yep.
sound effect guy, and Brazil. They should have brought him up.
Roselle.
Brazil.
we're talking about
We sound dated though, Kamar. There are guys now that blow Roselle out of the
What's
water.
his name there?
Beatboxers. Michael
From-
Winslow from Police Academy, yeah.
Police Academy. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
But yeah, Roselle, dude, I remember seeing him at DV8 at Lansdowne. He did If Your Mother Only Knew, where he does the beat and the chorus at the same time. I
Too
was
much stuff.
floored.
That's amazing how
it's
people
amazing.
can do that.
It's nuts.
Like if I ever showed you how I can do like the and then I can hum at the same time.
Well,
it's
no,
like
maybe
a
you
real...
should show us.
Yeah, you've
Well,
never
no,
shown me that.
I gotta work at it for a second. I can't.
Take your time.
it takes
Take
me
your
a
Take
second.
your
time.
time. We're not going anywhere.
Okay, hold on. You guys keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Because like it's almost better than magic.
Beatboxing? I mean, it
Do
just doesn't make sense.
Do you know what I mean? Like
But it's like ventriloquism or like throwing your voice. Like
magic is generally an illusion.
Yeah.
There's real magic, but that sort of control, you can't even imagine. I mean, Simon's about to.
No, I'm not doing that.
Oh man, we'll do it. We'll do it on the
Just
post
know,
show for
just
the
know
Patreon.
I can.
Just
Yeah,
you're
fuck
hilarious.
that. I'm mandating that shit, Kamar.
But it just feels like those guys should be on higher pedestals. I guess what you're saying is now on TikTok there's a million of them, but the drum beat and the guitar and the bass,
insane.
it's just
It's
insane.
There are
fucking
no
It's just insane.
albums being made like that, so like, where's the pedestal to lift them to? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going
I
out and
guess-
buying an album of a beatboxer doing.
Well, no, with the Roots, it got there. I think he put out an album.
Rozelle put in an album, yeah.
It just hip hop wasn't what it was today.
Okay. Well, you think he could put out that album today and it would like top the charts?
No, beatboxing is a very niche.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If hip hop was as popular it was and he was as groundbreaking,
Well, then how
was,
come somebody haven't done that? Like, people do everything all
I'm sure
the time.
they do it.
I saw a guy from the UK called,
Pentatonics is huge.
I saw a guy named Killa Kella from the UK at Surface Soundbar. He was
And
like,
he's a beatboxer,
dude, he was probably twice as good as Rozelle.
but someone had to blaze the trail.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give those guys get a shout out.
Michael Winslow is the guy. He's the
Michael
man.
Winslow, he was just like a sound effects guy, wasn't he? I
Yeah,
didn't
but
know
I'm
he
sure he
was a
could
I think
beatboxer.
he was a comedian though.
He did it
Yeah.
on this show. They played it.
He did use a distortion bar with JB.
I know, but
Well,
I wouldn't
whatever.
put him in the same category as like
Rozelle. Or,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
No,
sure.
I think
an
Rozelle is
artist
inspired
like
by
that.
Michael Winslow. Winslow maybe. Name another person. You know, the other guy who did sound effects.
I don't think Michael Winslow was inspiring the hip hop community, you know?
Okay, would you care to disagree?
Care to disagree?
Sidebar, I gotta think. I watched how music is made or the gut sound for Mortal Kombat.
yeah, with like the broccoli and the heads of lettuce and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
you saw that? Very cool.
Foley,
Foley,
artist,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Foley
I mean,
artist, yeah.
It's very interesting because those sounds are like.
What always fucks me up is like, how did you get into that?
I don't know, but it pays a lot of money.
Oh, once you're, yeah, of course, because it's a very neat, but you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
no, you have to be on the ground floor, a friend of the guy who started.
I
the
was
game.
gonna say, yeah, the guy gives you a job. He's like,
I
"Okay,
guess,
we're gonna
yeah.
make you the sound guy. You're gonna work with the broccoli and the lettuce."
Then you figure it out, and
Yeah.
you're indispensable. It was interesting that the Saudi prince that involved the painting that's on the yacht
Khashoggi.
is the Khashoggi killer.
Yeah.
And that the painting is worth more than the yacht.
You have to be some kind of asshole to put a painting of substantial value on your yacht.
We've been through this. Any place where like it can catch on fire, or like it's crazy.
It's worth more than the yacht.
Not so much catch on fire. Like if you have it in your home, at least it's displayed. Your home could catch fire.
No,
Like,
but I'm saying like it could. Oh yeah, you're
It
right.
could sink.
It could sink.
Yeah.
It just puts another variable out there. You know,
Oh, but that
insane.
makes it cool if it's some sort of glass preserved case in a locker.
it's true. If it ended
It
up at the
sinks.
bottom of the ocean, like
just salvage
the
it.
only person who could get it was James Cameron and his personal little fucking submersible there.
But it's crazy that the painting is
Worth more, yeah.
than the yacht.
and I assume the yacht is shocking.
shocking. You're not worried about the painting. It's not like one of those wakeboard boats with the big speakers on it.
But again, it's like what you were talking about. Like one of those yachts to those guys is like fucking buying a car to a normal person. You know, you can't even fathom the amount of money they have. They're not on those lists. Those fucking sheiks.
No, they have tons of cash.
And they talked about Epstein, which that's gone. So
Yeah, who you said Epstein? I was like, I don't even know who you're talking about.
and someone pointed out that
But what happened to Ghislaine? She's
Ghislaine.
alive. But let me ask, no, because
Is she?
wasn't she supposed to get?
does she exist? Who are these people you're talking about, Matt?
Wasn't she supposed to get sentenced recently? Or
She has to go to trial first.
well, yeah, but didn't that happen?
We don't even know if she's alive. We have no fucking idea.
Someone pointed out that Ghislaine Maxwell is in holding, waiting to go to trial, and people at January 6th
Have
gone through the
been
system
through-
and been
yeah.
convicted. This is very interesting.
it's
What
quite a fucking
is
wild
your
system.
answer, Kamar? Just out of curiosity,
Uh-oh, here we go. Buckle
Trump
up.
and Ghislaine, I wish you the best. That whole fucking ordeal.
He fucked her, and then she fucked him. He actually had sex with her, and then she ghosted him. So that's passive aggressive. You know what I mean? All the best to her. I fucking hate her.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really where his whole fucking shtick falls apart for me.
That one moment just means he's on the take.
Well, that one moment just means he is, like, so corrupt, right? Like,
Sometimes that's all it takes is one line. Joe didn't know that the best of enemies was time to fill up during election coverage. They didn't just put them onto debate.
I didn't know
it was
that
the
either.
first coverage of an election, and there's like enough panning, just people with signs in the stands. There's nothing going on. So they said, let's have these two
Duke
talk.
it out, yeah.
Which I guess it is true. It doesn't happen anymore.
No.
It happens all the time.
I
That's
guess
what
it's
podcasts
Crystal
are
and
and
Sagar or
YouTube.
something.
And
No, not in the debates though. Did you see those fucking? Our
Whoever
debate
it is
was
just a
the
support.
most ridiculous. I know we talked about this last week, but it was so stupid. What is the point of even having these debates if you're going to give them 20-second time limits?
I have
you know?
something that's going to make you go irate in the post, Joe.
Make you
on
go,
the debates. Did you guys know?
Jesus Christ.
Did you guys know Joe Biden had brain surgery?
I had no idea. That's crazy. How did nobody talk about this during the
Do you
election?
think that could have been brought up?
You would have guaranteed him losing simply by saying, thank you so much, Mary, simply by saying, this guy had brain surgery.
The top of his skull removed.
The whole top of his skull.
But
He's like Frankenstein.
he's taking the information from his advisors and making the best decision.
No, but your party should be fucking embarrassed that they didn't use that to fucking make sure this guy didn't
You
get
always
in.
wonder about this stuff.
Just shows you that everybody's
After
working
the
with
fact,
everybody,
because no
man.
one's good at it. And I guess it's a relieving fact when they talked about Reagan
Yeah.
walked into the room apparently with the White House saying, this has some significance. I'm related to this as president.
I think they were really scared with Reagan when he was in massive decline at the end there during his second term or whatever. Because he has the football, right? This is a guy who has his finger on the button. They had to have what's her name do everything at that point.
Well, no,
Nancy.
I was going to say before we were talking about who's in charge, it was George Sr. from head of the CIA was vice president.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So they weren't afraid
Oh,
of
it was a Cheney thing.
it was exactly what
Yeah.
it was.
That really was just like it played itself out again.
Yep.
I think everyone was happy when that happened.
That all looks amazing. She should have told us who we could shout out.
It's a pop-up, so
Yeah, but
It won't be there
who's the
tomorrow.
it won't be
special
there
chef?
tomorrow. I don't know, whatever.
A lot of love for Elon out of Kyle.
Out of
This
Kyle.
continues.
Who's Kyle?
Can I also say though,
Kyle Dunnigan.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle then was like, "Man, wouldn't it be great if there was a bullet train from
Matrix
Vegas to
moments.
LA?"
I
And
wrote it down right here.
I was like, "Yeah, Kyle, if Elon hadn't shut something like that down, that would be cool."
Joe really is like triple downing on Elon, though. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to back out of this one and be like, oh, I said all along that Elon was a fucking evil mastermind.
Yeah, if he's wrong about this one, he'd have to scrub so many episodes.
I don't want to be right.
I hope Elon is the
just
savior.
know I am.
I hope Elon is the
I
savior.
know I am. This is too obvious. And that's how it works in this simulation, Matt, is some things are just like uber obvious. So much that humans are like, well, that can't be true because it's so obvious. But it is. It's just, I don't know if it's like when they wrote the program, they just had so little respect for the creatures that were having to be in that program.
Maybe. You want to eat that, don't
Oh,
you?
I'm dying.
Okay, fine. We'll take.
Are they just brainwashed or something?
Huh?
Or they're towing some line?
What?
They don't see what you see in Elon.
Who?
Kurt.
No, it's that. No. It's that I think a lot of people don't know. Like what I had to find all that stuff out that I said. I wasn't aware of that. I had to dig deep and find it. And then when I found it, I was like, okay. I think a lot of people are blinded by. They do live in California. The Tesla's a great car. I want one.
And people just don't look at it that way. Like nobody looks at it through the eyes of like a comic book. You know what I mean? They just go ahead living their lives. But I think this one is pretty obvious that this guy is fucking evil.
I think in this podcast they talked about how sort of Bill Gates fell from grace when his relationship with Epstein did come out. It's weird. You think you know something, and everyone knows it, and then it comes out like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, and it's, you know what I mean?
But it wasn't. We knew he had connections. It was finding out after the fact that then his wife was
The
like,
wife-
"I'm
that was
leaving."
a
That was
really,
different.
like,
That
the
was
nail in the coffin.
But
for him.
the idea is that she all this time didn't even know the extent of his,
That's right, and she couldn't stand by now,
Yeah.
knowing what she knows.
and where's he gone now? All these moments for Elon, like you say, you got to find it. They're not public knowledge, but you found it. It's
Yeah.
not like you paid someone off.
no. I didn't have a PI go in and
Did
fuck. It's all
shrewd
out there.
investigation.
Yeah.
No, but that just like solidified it for me. I had bad feelings about Elon before that. Just watching the way he goes about doing his stuff and the way he plays himself off as this like martyr and like the whole thing just reeks the fucking.
How many
eye of him.
CEOs of billion-dollar companies go on Joe Rogan? Unless it's to talk about, I don't know. It seems something's off for sure.
And again, Bill Gates, like the narrative was young guy makes good by building Microsoft in his garage. Like we know that was just a narrative they fed to the people. His mom was totally like she had all these connections for him. He was like made in the shade.
Yeah, the point is he's super rich and he should always have it made. Somehow he's fallen from grace. Bezos is still up there. I mean,
But he
he's rich or
hasn't
whatever.
really fallen from grace, Kay.
But even then,
I
It's just
don't
the
know.
vaccines have been spreaded, so he doesn't talk anymore.
No, but I was going to say, Kamar, you're also forgetting that like people hated Bill Gates long before anyone
Long
knew who the
before,
fuck
yeah.
Epstein was.
Exactly.
I didn't know who
I
Epstein
feel
was.
he has. I
Okay.
feel he has fallen off.
Oh no,
Really has.
he's been getting some flack for sure.
More so than
With
those other guys who have all the same reasons.
because they're involved. Because he was like directly involved in the vaccines, where Elon has nothing to do with the vaccines, right? It's just the hot button topic of the moment. Like, trust me, when this blows over and then the carbon credits become the hot button topic,
Bill will
you're
be
going to
back.
see, well, Bill will be back for sure, but you'll see how Elon has kind of just positioned himself perfectly for the next big boom. And I'm sure you've heard about the carbon credits and how people are going to use that as just like a total fucking way to
The new
But they're already
move
using carbon.
money
That's how.
around.
default
you know?
credit swap.
But that's already how Tesla makes a lot of their money.
This is my
Yeah, okay.
You're just reinforcing what I'm saying.
Fair
but
enough.
that's not out in the open. Like right now people hear carbon credits and they're like, "Oh, this is a good thing that's being done for the environment." No, it's not. It's just another way to milk as they transition out of gasoline, out of oil. They have to have a way for them to make money, and this is how they're going to do it. Like there has to be a shady side to everything, right?
Probably,
Everybody
yeah.
needs to get their fucking their dick sweat or whatever the expression is. No, I'm being serious.
I
though.
know, I know.
It's not wonky theory. I don't think. I really
laughing.
think that's the future. And again, Elon positioned himself perfectly to be a part of all of that. And then to Matt's point, like stopping progress to make sure that his interests push forward, like that is Lex Luthor type of behavior. Except we don't have a Superman to make sure that we're safe.
Well, keep in mind though, it's almost exactly. Here's the weird thing. This just dawned on me. Who's the guy that fucking made weed illegal?
Yeah,
The paper baron.
the paper baron.
The fuck was his name?
William Randolph Hearst.
It's the exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
It is literally, and Joe has never. I just made the connection, so no disrespect to Joe, but he's never put those two. I also don't think he knows about the rail and all that. But you know what I mean?
That is
It-
the exact same thing. Again, it's just a man who puts his interests above the interest of everybody. Now, in that case, I think he might have been more.
maniacal.
Yeah, it might have impacted the populace more, but I don't think he knew that it was going to. I don't think William Randolph Hearst was like, I have to stop drugs and weed to make sure that nobody opens their mind. I
Yeah.
think he was just thinking about his interests. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like because he was a Rockefeller or whatever, they were really the masterminds of this throughout history, keeping the people dumb. Because when you go back and look, this kind of same pattern has repeated itself every, I don't know, however many years, as these dynasties change and things change, but it's the same scam that gets perpetrated on the people.
Well, these three gentlemen are not hip to your jive. And one day you'll be say, I told you so.
I hate to say a fucking a toe-to-so, but a fucking a toe-to-so.
Then there was some bestiality talk, which I'm sure Simon enjoyed.
I don't like bestiality. I just
He just likes animals fucking
my bad.
other animals.
I'm
What is that
disgusted
called?
by
What is that
people
called?
fucking animals.
It's called animals fucking.
It's just animals copulating. That's what
That's the good stuff.
Again, and I'm not out there looking for it. I just think it would make a good television show.
Then they started talking about the woman who went on Oprah with the face, and it sounded like Kurt said they should have killed her.
What was that? Sorry.
Remember the chimpanzee
Ate her face off.
tears her face off?
Oh yeah,
And it's just like really not.
that happened on Oprah.
Oprah,
No, she went on after she had her face torn off.
Oh okay.
whatever reconstruction they did, which wasn't
That good.
maybe plastic surgery wasn't where it was at, but it felt like, would you want to tough it out?
Well, I mean, I enjoy living, so I'm not just probably wouldn't want to die.
Just wouldn't go out in the sun a lot.
It depends if they could fix you, I guess.
No, I guess you have to see her face as a reference point. I think she should not die, but I wonder. Like, her face is gonzo.
Yeah, a monkey tore it off. I'm
What would you like to have if they got to bite something off?
a pinky.
A finger?
A pinky.
Kyle said foot. I think
Pinky toe would probably be the best way to go.
something on the feet, not the hands.
Not your ear, not your face.
No.
Your pinky. No,
Definitely-
your pinky balances you. Without your pinky, you're fucked.
Definitely
Your
not
pinky
your
toe.
dick.
You can get a whole new foot. I think
I don't know,
prosthetic foot.
That's what you're saving first, here
Yep.
or here.
dude. I could lose my pinky, no problem.
Kamar,
my
what
finger,
would
my
you
pinky
rather?
finger, no problem.
Would you rather have that woman's face or have them eat your
Your
wang?
dick off.
Eat the wang.
Eat the wang.
They can remake wangs, man. They couldn't remake her face.
Can they remake wangs?
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
you won't feel anything.
Well, what do you think?
Well, they can probably attach like some
A
nerve.
dildo to you,
If
wonderful.
they can make a
No,
vagina into
they
a penis,
attach
they can
it
do
with
anything.
nerves,
They can do
Matt,
anything.
so you feel
I'm out.
it.
I don't want either of them.
You can do anything. Kyle said his doctor told him he has no fat on his feet, and that's why they're sore. Have you ever seen a fat foot?
Oh, for sure.
Have you?
Yes, you have
ankles,
to.
I've never seen a fat foot,
Yeah.
even on a fat
Dude, you've never
person.
seen a woman with her foot in like a pump that doesn't fit, where it looks like she's baking bread
I
out the
never thought
top.
about that. Yeah, maybe.
Have you ever seen a swollen foot?
Yeah, but that's not. He's so skinny he didn't have enough fat on his feet for padding, and I thought that was silly, and so did everyone else.
Kyle's
Yeah, that's definitely silly as
so
shit.
weird.
No, it gets weirder because then he said he used to watch kites till he pissed his pants. He was that kind of kid.
He just wouldn't stop watching the
He wouldn't leave
kites.
the yard. He couldn't do anything till he pissed his pants, and even then he'd sit there and just love kites. Like he's such a
So
is it
odd.
idiot
Yeah, go
savant?
crazy.
Is that the word?
I don't know what he is. He's very odd.
I like idiot savant. That works. That works.
And not pejorative.
No.
Like
I mean,
he's hilarious and cute, but almost helpless. The rapper that drilled holes into his head to chain.
The video was
can't
obscene.
stop. Like I remember saying,
Why did he drill holes in his head?
so he could have implants. He implanted gold chains as hair.
Oh, that's right.
It's
the
coming
gold
down
hair.
as like
Right,
dreads.
Right.
Well,
but
that's
I
like
thought
the look.
I thought Tekashi was like, it's really getting crazy.
You saw that person who like put the phone in their arm.
Is that
That's
real?
the dumbest shit ever. Imagine having a Nokia from
Is
like the
it real?
90s in your arm.
I don't know if it's real, man.
Okay, I mean I know people do implants where they have bumps and stuff in them. Usually those don't work out well.
You know what? Now that I think about it, Kamar, I don't know if it's real.
It was an illusion.
I don't know if it's an illusion.
I'm
It
sure
was
it's
just
inevitable.
A fake, but it is inevitable.
Did you guys watch the football cat?
The football cat.
Yeah, I saw it. The cat that fell.
Oh, yeah,
and
of
the
course.
people
Yeah,
caught
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like,
That cat would have lived, even if they don't catch it.
I don't know if it landed on the top of a seat.
Oh, it could have killed itself.
Like
I saw a
it's gonna
cat-
land on a flat surface, land on its feet. But if it gets impaled,
Yeah, but they were on like a concourse where it fell. If you look carefully, they're not at. It's on like a. I'm just saying. I watched a cat fall from 9 stories
Yes.
the other day, and I could not believe that it
The
just walked
other
away.
day,
In a video, I didn't see it myself.
lie to us.
Just watching cats fall
It was
from
on
the sky.
Gladstone. No, like crazy cat stuff. And this cat they caught in. Would you jump into that? The whole idea of they hold a sheet, the tension.
No.
From a story.
Maybe from
a
one
story you get down already.
How
Like a-
high
like a
is
trust fall?
How high is one story? Is
Well,
it
that's
like the
different.
first tower at?
It's like 15 feet.
Yeah, first tower. 3
so
stories.
like the high diving board.
You probably just hang, drop, and someone catch you. But if you had to jump,
Do you jump off like high cliffs?
I used to, but like it hurts.
Do you jump off high
don't do
cliffs?
it
Is
right.
that something you used to do?
Yeah.
I used to for sure.
Yeah.
You have no problem with
Higher the
jumping
better.
off high things
Into water?
into water. Yeah,
No, I have no.
zero problem. Like you've jumped off the 4th tower at.
I've never swam
Carlton.
at Carlton.
Have you ever jumped from towers before?
I've never jumped from towers before.
You're
Oh
not
my
a real
gosh.
thrill seeker.
You've
like
never
that.
jumped from towers before?
Am I
Matt?
not? Really?
Are you?
Going fast
This
is
is
one of my
statement of question.
favorite fucking
Driving
things
fast.
ever.
Jumping off
You've
something high
never
in the
gone to the
water.
towers.
Hold on. Yes,
getting attacked
Simon. Jesus. No, I've never been to the towers. I would go if we want to go this week. I'll jump off the top one.
No,
if that's-
No,
I don't.
I believe
but
you. That's
you
enough
would. You
confidence
would
in
just
me.
go
Of
jump
course you
off.
would.
You have no problem with heights.
how?
Yep.
Well, I'm not going to get hurt jumping into the water.
Oh, you can definitely get hurt if you don't jump properly and you like hit your back or your stomach or
I'm
you
not-
didn't-
Slap the water.
Didn't protect your balls. Didn't point your feet.
Just,
like
we'll get the bubbler for you. You'll be fine. I believe you. I believe you.
even with the bubbler, dude, that you could still hurt
No,
yourself.
the bubbler. I think you belly flop into the bubbler.
You
No,
would
the
still
bubbler
hurt
is only
yourself.
there to let you know where the water is. That's
No,
the only
the
purpose of
bubbler's
the
there to break
bubbler.
your fall.
No, it is
the
not.
bubbler makes it like a softer landing, but it's
Yes,
not like
it's
a
all air.
pillow.
It's almost-
it just
it
You
is,
are
it is, it
insane.
is.
The bubbler is there just so you know where you're landing and nothing else.
No.
I know. I'm
That is-
pretty sure
that is the
makes
most least reason the bubbler is
Again,
there.
I'm not positive on that.
It's not like
that
you can
maybe,
fly
that
and learn
maybe
to jump
like
all over the place. You're
a
always gonna be going to the same
psychological
place.
thing. You thought it did,
The bubbler breaks your fall. And nothing better than being on the bottom of the pool when they shoot the bubbler.
and it pushes you up.
Yeah, the bubbler is to break your
See,
fall.
it does something, man. It's not just.
It's not to give you a target.
Oh, I love how you're laughing, and I'm about to
laughing 'cause
prove
that's
you
not-
wrong.
That's not what it is. Prove me wrong.
I will.
Anyways,
I listened to this podcast on Saturday.
but sorry. One more thing. Would you skydive?
Yes.
You would. Have you?
No.
No.
But I
And
would.
Bungee jump?
Yeah.
Have you?
I've done the slingshot, the opposite one, the thing you see people pass out on all the time.
At the
I had you
X
wrong, Matt. I
there?
had
No,
where
I
they
did in
shoot you up
Toronto.
In the air?
No.
Is that
The one that they did in Ottawa is not in a chair. It's just like you hooked up
Yeah.
to the two things.
Yeah. Oh, this
I
isn't
did the
in a
one where you're
chair.
like sitting in a chair and you shoot up way higher than the one at the Ottawa X.
as high as a bungee jump?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe at your apex, you're probably, well, I'm probably,
The
no.
problem with the bungee jump, as far as I can see it, I wouldn't do any of them. But I don't like the idea of the after where you're upside down the whole time, you know? And you're just being thrown around.
I think it's pretty quick.
yeah, whole time is a.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
up
like
for an
15
hour.
seconds. Yeah, you're not, I would definitely bungee jump for sure. We have one of the highest ones in Eastern Ontario.
You would
outside of
do
Ottawa.
all of that stuff, eh?
You wouldn't?
No, never in
So
a
did you
bagillion
find the
years.
article where Charles
You couldn't pay
Bubbles
me enough, man.
Oh, I forgot to look.
created the bubbler for people to know where to.
You
couldn't
couldn't, hold
pay
on. We
me
couldn't
enough.
pay you to bungee jump.
Well, you'd have to pay me a lot of money. Like, what are you going to pay me to bungee jump?
Just tell us what your
the
number
price
is.
it costs to
a
bungee jump.
Oh, you need my number.
Like $1,000. Would you bungee jump?
Oh, it would have to be like 50 grand.
50,000.
More probably.
my God.
100 grand. Is that
Wow, I didn't
enough?
know you were such a pussy.
No
This
one's
is-
going to offer him that. So
Yeah, at least that. And skydive. Oh, that's even worse, man.
The problem with skydiving is you got to start tandem.
it's still. you
Well,
get
that
the
takes
feel.
like most of the fear out of it,
Yeah, I
right?
did it.
Oh, the homoeroticism that calms you?
That's in
Well,
your head, man.
I don't think you're thinking about that, and you might end up with a girl.
Women don't skydive.
I mean, yeah, I think they do, man.
Back to
It's a
1985.
fucking joke.
No, but you never even thought about that. Like, I have a riddle for you, okay? There's
Okay.
a plane crash,
Yeah.
and the person gets rushed to the hospital.
Yeah, the doctor was your mother.
I'm surprised you went there.
They all concurred that when men hit the male feminist part of their life, it's their last resort. You know, they had the guys apologizing
Yeah.
on the video, like Trudeau, for being a male. And then they showed the parody of it.
Yeah, the Will
these-
Forte and Will Ferrell.
All those people, and Kurt was like, none of those guys would do this.
None of them would do it now.
Either they've shifted or it's shifted. That would be
Just the paradigm has shifted. Everything, like, it's not the same as it was back then. You're not making fun of the same things, I guess.
That's why we're gonna miss Norm, because he never bended
He never
or folded.
bended. He bended like Beckham.
He learned what a piece of shit.
Yeah, shouldn't it be he bent like Beckham?
It's Bend It like Beckham.
Bended
over.
Exactly.
We found out for sure what a piece of shit Bill Maher is,
Yes.
That he was on his plane.
and that he said, "I don't
Just-
even know the guy."
And just treated him like, obviously, if you're not, he was trying to fuck Sarah Silverman. I
obviously,
think that's-
and he felt like he could do it in front of her boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's how lowly he thought of Kyle Dunnigan.
yeah.
But
The weird little autistic guy.
that he goes on and says I don't like what he does. I don't even know who he is, and he tried to.
Listen, we listened to that episode and we all thought Bill Maher was a fucking prick.
Well, this just adds to it, and poor little Kyle's like, "No, I came because Sarah was there. He's trying to fuck her. Like, whatever." I thought Bill Maher could
I
have
don't
said
think he
knew
sounded like that, but okay.
it. I think he sure did.
That was a bang on Kyle Dunnigan.
Yeah, you like that?
No, it was awful.
And the Thanos thing.
What was the Thanos thing?
Well, they just
Theranos.
No, Thanos was the blood company.
No, it was called Theranos.
Oh,
Thanos,
Thanos
is
Thanos is the
the
guy who snapped his finger and
The
half the
Theranos thing.
population disappeared.
I love how I correct him and he goes, "No, Thanos."
That's
It's
sure I
true.
am.
That was Bill Gates who snapped his finger. and
Yes,
half of the
yes.
population.
The Theranos thing.
Theranos.
Is there a point where you could pull a scam like that and get out?
No, it's fraud from like the second you make any money, I'm pretty sure.
They went pretty hard though. Maybe
No,
if
but
they
you know,
had
like
just
after $100
like,
million, hey, we just can't get to work.
this is what I mean. If they hadn't have gone for like the whole,
Yeah, you're probably
gusto,
right, yeah.
maybe.
Like if you come forward before you present it to the public as a product, like before it goes into Walgreens, the tester or whatever. Yeah, before that they could just be like, "Listen, to the investors, we lost it all."
I feel like when you're fucking with people's health, then you end up like with people who get hurt.
Yeah.
And then they start working backwards. You know, if it's just people getting like ripped off for $10, they're probably not going to waste their time to try and figure out who fucked them. Does that make sense?
No.
So like if you're a woman who had cancer, let's say, and you were taking that test to help you with something to do with your health.
Okay.
And in the end, it kills you because it didn't give you the information you needed to help yourself. Like that's what happened to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Maybe then like your daughter makes it her like life's work to find out why you died. She starts working backwards and it leads back to Theranos being a faulty company. That's what I'm getting at.
Gotcha.
It's just a special type of crazy to go for it, like Enron or what, like
Oh, you have
or-
to be
or,
a damaged personality to think
that
you can
Madoff?
get away with that.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of look at it though, like me skipping school in grade 9. You know what I mean? Like you miss the first 5 math classes, and you're like, well, I can't go now. Like I got to just keep. You know, like I don't think it's necessarily you're like these people are psych. Like I think you.
are you in a state of discomfort though, because you know your parents eventually are going to find out you're not going to school?
Yeah, and I'm sure they lived. Like I guarantee you, if you talk to anyone close to Bernie Madoff, they probably say he was a fucking stress case. Like I doubt he lived a very like an overly happy or comfortable life.
No, I think you're wrong because I think for at that scale, you have to be such a sociopath that
It'll never
you're
end.
able to like.
I've done it.
That's
I've
different though.
figured
What
it
I'm
out.
saying is I think he plays that game where in public, yeah, you would think like this guy's like a billionaire. He's fleecing, you know, he's flossing everyone, quietly fleecing everyone. But I think deep down, that guy was probably a fucking wildly sad. Didn't he kill himself or did he die in jail?
I think he died in jail.
I think his son killed himself.
Yeah,
His son killed himself. Yeah. But
and he
Not
died
him,
in jail.
though. I don't
But
think he. I think he always thought he was the fucking.
I
bee's
think the
knees.
madness is rounded out by you thinking you're going to get away with it as well.
This is what I mean. I
Maybe,
think I'm
maybe.
with that. Yeah.
That- I mean,
wonder
that
if
could
there's
be it, yeah.
That's what I'm wondering, because I know when you skip school, you're like, this is going to come out at some
well, I
point.
knew, yeah, you're like the rug
There's
is going
no
to
way
get
I
pulled
away
out.
Oh
with
yeah,
this.
I mean, like for me, who also would skip school,
Yeah.
knew I was going to eventually get caught, it would like haunted me. I couldn't sleep at
Yeah.
nights.
You were waiting for that phone to ring and
But
you were
that's
like,
because I'm like a good person who did a bad thing. Whereas
Maybe,
Bernie
yeah.
was a bad
Bad people
guy
are
doing
doing bad
bad
things, so it's a
things,
good-
so it cancels each other out. They're doing good things in their own head. I'm just saying, like, look, we know people, Matt, who are like so egocentric that they can't even see how fucking crazy they are. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows somebody like that. And that's just that personality type that like you can't even see. Can't even see.
That's what I think. Speaking of can't even see, I thought it was a great analogy by Kurt Metzger to say the Afghan war was just a giant fire fest. It's a poor source, but Tucker Carlson played 12 or 15 years of statements from generals in the Pentagon, the whole time saying about the progress. Hard road, but the progress. And now we're here. It's really, I know we've already dealt with it, and we're going to say wait for the story to develop, but it appears like they just did nothing there but lose all the money. I don't see how it's playing out now. They just
but you know what's funny?
killed innocent people. Like,
you know what's funny is I guarantee you if someone went back and dug up the last 10 years of Tucker Carlson, it's probably him. I guarantee you there's 10 minutes of him like, we got to be in Afghanistan.
No, you're wrong there. He's always been against foreign intervention wars. That's his one thing. But it doesn't matter. The point was, that's why I said you'll question the source. It was the government saying things are moving in the right direction. Like, they did not do anything.
Have we ever heard the government?
Same thing as Thurano saying the notes. You know what I mean?
Have we ever heard the government say it's not going very well?
Well, our government said they were training. That's what we were doing in Afghanistan, training troops. And
No, that's not the question I
support.
asked. I said, have you ever heard our government or any government say it's not going very well? Anything about anything? Do they ever come out and say
No,
that?
they never admit culpability on anything.
Well, they just did when they blew up this family.
Well, sometimes they have to after the fact.
It's usually once they've been
But it's
found
only
out.
because they've been found out. They never come out and tell you they're fucking up.
So we can question from here on in everything that anyone tells you is
Yeah, but you act
we're
like
not doing bad.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, they went into like there was 4 wars before that probably shouldn't have happened too, and like we didn't learn anything from that.
No, I agree. That's the frustration.
Yeah,
but
well-
just moving forward, like whenever someone tells you it's going well, you can assume it's not.
Yeah,
I
we'll
could
forget
assume you're
quickly.
probably not getting all the info.
Speak of all the info, they talked about Unomi Park.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some reports that she isn't 100% what she claims to be.
That's not what they were saying, though. They were saying that there's a disinformation campaign against her
They were
because they don't want her
suggesting-
giving up information.
They were suggesting that, and the other
No-
people, but
not
there's-
that she's a fraud.
other reporters have said she's a fraud.
Okay, that's what
Since
you.
the
That's
fact.
you like that narrative.
No, we questioned that when we heard it, and then Schultz came on and questioned it too. I mean, Joe is going to the mat for this girl, but it was, what's it, Lee Camp? Like, it's pretty independent journalists, like really not, they don't have a lot of viewers and stuff, so it's always interesting when you see their takes.
So, what is their take exactly? That she was a rich person over there, not a
Just
poor
maybe
person.
everything she says isn't true, and that she gets a lot of money to speak at engagements.
So she wasn't even from North Korea.
What she's saying isn't totally true.
But
I
she
love
was
how
from North Korea.
I love how anytime anyone gets paid for a speaking engagement, it's like a for some reason we've made it into this huge red flag now. Like,
Well, no, but why? Who is paying her to speak? Like, it's some political party who wants support to do. You know what I mean? And she just to tell her story. It's not like a one-woman show.
but what? But like, what if
As-
Harvard?
see,
But like, what if Harvard wants her to come talk to like a political science class or like
Yeah. That sounds like it'd be good if she's being honest, but if they're paying her to tell lies, the same thing like Lisa tapes of what does Hillary say at those bankers meetings or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, but let me ask you this. So someone is paying her to lie to us because secretly North Korea is great?
What is the motivation?
Not that.
Or not as bad as it is? I don't know. I don't know what the motivation is.
But hear me out though. There's no foreign aid. There's no large amount of money that goes into keeping North Korea shitty.
I don't know. I do
No.
not know what
But
the
hold
interests
on.
are.
I still don't understand why. Like, who would be paying her? You think North Korea is paying her?
No, I'm asking the question.
Institutions are paying her to speak, to tell people, spread the word of North Korea's atrocities and the hardships there.
And
this
really,
is all
North
hearsay.
Korea is a great spot. That would be the argument.
No, I don't.
No, I'm trying to understand.
Why are people saying she's lying?
Yeah, exactly. Why are people
why are
saying
people
she's
skeptical?
lying? Are they just angry because she has like fake boobs and stuff?
The only thing that they're saying is that she gets paid for speaking engagements. Her motivation is having the most crazy story to be sought after to speak.
Why is that? Hold on.
It is possible, but just wait. There are people who have real experiences and then get paid for speaking engagements. Okay, so I mean, this could be one of those cases.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just saying I heard otherwise. I have to defend what I don't know.
No,
It's
and I'm just
difficult position.
I'm wondering if that's because she has these fake boobs and people are like, well, look, she's spending her money on fake boobs. She has to be some sort of phony.
One of the reports I read is that she was a soap opera star in North Korea.
Well, that should be easy enough to prove.
Why?
If she's a soap opera star, just find a clip of her.
How do you get a clip of North Korean TV?
I imagine it's not that hard.
All I'm saying is the source of the reporters.
Dennis Rodman.
Just ask him.
Just get it from
You recognize
Dennis.
this chick?
He'd be able to tell you.
Yeah, maybe.
There was less motivation for them to report this about her. It was a big windfall for them because they're not a big news organization. I don't know.
But you argue that a news organization would arguably pick any topic, right? If it's salacious enough. Like if they're smearing someone, that gets eyes and clicks, right? So
But this is like more credible reporting than
why? Because they're small? That's what you're saying?
yeah. Like they're not. I guess it could be argued that it's clickbait. Like, but in this age of misinformation, you have to choose some stuff to listen to, right?
So
Like
you
you believe
only
some of the stuff you see on the news.
Who's they? Just in this case, who
This is
they?
RT and Lee Champ, and another.
They are the ones who are questioning her.
No, they would do the reporting that there are some inconsistencies
Yeah.
with the stories,
Yeah, gotcha.
and not like
Because you could just turn that around and say Lee Camp and them are doing that so that they get clicks, and it's. Do you see what I'm saying? We could go back and forth like this all day
okay.
long.
I'm sorry I brought that up.
No.
They talked about it, and I brought it up.
Holy shit!
What?
We're
What?
having a discussion.
No, you're not. You're telling me that.
Okay,
my
I'm gonna
point
stop looking at you.
Has no validity because they could be wrong. Like I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying they talked about Unomi Park.
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe she's not what she seems.
Do you believe that she isn't what she seems?
I don't know.
Okay, then don't take it so personally.
I'm not taking it personally.
Okay. All right, move on.
They got first class flights. That was the last thing we learned. Kyle had he's so weird how he is so gracious. You know what I mean? Like I loved Kyle and I love Kurt together. Rated boys.
Oh, this one.
I don't think Joe wanted that information out there.
We already knew
Yeah,
that.
I think so. I
didn't know that. Did you knew that he paid for like first class?
First
class
class. I thought he
accommodations,
said
yeah.
private flights.
Yeah. Not private. I had, yeah. I'm
But
pretty
it's
sure.
first class.
I don't think Joe owns a plane.
No, he definitely does not own a plane. No. Unless Spotify sent him a plane. That's part of the deal. You got a Cessna, a single engine Cessna.
What's a Swedish plane? Is that a Cessna?
Cessna? No, I don't know. Who knows? I give it a 2.
I give it a 2.5.
I give it a 3.5. I really. Kyle was super interesting.
Oh, don't listen to this episode. Do yourself a favor.
He's funny.
There was some funny stuff, but this episode was just not my cup of tea. And I like both of them, which is weird. Like I like Kurt Metzger.
I liked them
I like
together
Kyle Dunn.
better than apart. I
Dunnigan.
think that's what I was saying.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's get through this. Let's get through the fucking psychiatrist.
1708, Annie Lamke.
You nailed her name, though.
Did I?
Well, probably. It sounded like you
I think
did.
it might be Lamke.
That's what you said. Lampkey.
Yeah, but I don't think I wrote it down right. Anyways, I feel like this is like should have been done 5 years ago.
I feel like Joe doesn't know what an addiction is.
She's supposed to with an E. I said it with an I, Lamke.
Gotcha.
So it might be Lamke. No, but he's had this on before.
What do you mean, a psychiatrist?
Addiction, drugs. It just seems so like why, as we say, he schedules these far ahead or whatever.
She wasn't selling anything
came on
either,
the
was she?
docket. No, I don't think so.
She didn't. I don't remember her mentioning a book ever.
How maybe she came across Joe's purview, like what interesting research she was doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Sometimes it just takes a tweet, but I didn't remember hearing her make
no,
any tweets
I've
either.
never like. Usually, he talks about the person ahead of time or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she defined addiction as people trying to be in a constant dopamine state, to always be.
Yeah, but then she had some wild acronym for dopamine that I couldn't keep up with.
Well, she calls it the gremlins.
I mean, I think it depends on the drug. Some drugs vary in their efficiency of dopamine.
I think she looked at addiction like it could be gambling. It didn't have to be chemicals necessarily, but whatever you're doing for that dopamine rush, and just because it's human nature to approach pleasure and avoid pain. But I mean, the bottom line of her is she wanted to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, she didn't want to hear anything about like MDMA trials or
No, she wasn't feeling that.
mushroom
Mushrooms,
therapy.
She was there like old. It almost like she felt threatened by those ideas of Joe's.
She seemed like the Egyptian scholars.
And that's why I think 5 years ago would have been more interesting without all this research. And like she called it, like, I know where you're getting at with this microdosing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, what you're saying. It should have been 5 years ago.
But
Yeah,
even then,
it
no.
did feel real.
No, it doesn't need to be
dated.
5 years ago because you last week were talking about something almost what the fuck was it? Oh, I'm such a fucking pothead moron.
No, but they didn't have the same research even. Like, they have more research today than they had 5 years ago when
Yeah,
she
but I'm
should have been on.
The orthodontics. Like, if you're saying that this woman can get you to where you need to be without MDMA and mushrooms, then you're better off going this way.
Actually,
then.
that's a great thing. She was saying she was looking at the psychedelics or whatever, like a vaccine. Like that's just a one stop. That's an easy way out to do ibogaine or mushrooms or acid. She thought doing the personal work would be better. Just like there's alternative methods to fight something.
Yeah, I think the idea is that those things work hand in hand, right? Like you do
Yeah,
the mushrooms and the therapy and
I know, but
together.
I think the way
she wasn't getting it.
Joe presented to her, she thought it was
I think it wasn't that she thought.
finding her out of a job or something.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
the Egyptian scholars.
No.
Yes,
I think
that's
her-
exactly it.
Okay, never mind then.
No, go on. I'd like to hear the alternate.
I can't remember.
Really? Okay.
And I thought it was interesting how certain addictions are rewarded. Generally sports or anything like that. Like she considered that addiction, or I guess Joe presented that as addiction and she accepted that as addiction.
Sports?
Athletes who are the best are addicted to winning, are addicted to sports, like, but they're rewarded. And if you're addicted to heroin, you're not rewarded. But it's like a human consistency in people, but just to different degrees.
Right. So if you're addicted to video games, but you make lots of money, then it's not an addiction anymore.
You slip
It's
through
your
the cracks, but she was mainly dealing with video game addiction.
Yeah, that's troublesome.
Did you feel like Joe bared a soul, like how he discussed his video game addiction?
I don't think
Or
he had a
so.
video game addiction.
He does.
He's full of shit.
Okay, so you thought he was putting it on to be part of the conversation? Like, I understand.
No,
what you're saying
listen,
with
he
addiction.
might think he had an addiction. I don't think he fully grasps what having while he had this so-called addiction, he maintained 2 high-paying jobs, a wife and a family. So guess what?
I think
I didn't think he had a wife and a family.
I think
this was
he could
when
have
he was on news radio.
I think he'd have fallen down this addiction and not have a wife and family, and maybe not even have a podcast. Because he said he had to stop.
No, I know, but he still had news radio or Fear Factor or whatever he was doing at the time. Like, I don't know. And Joe,
He said he was playing 8 hours a day. That's like, listen, right now there's active comedians on the road that sit and watch Netflix 8 hours a day. It doesn't mean they're addicted. They might not have anything else to do. Like, Joe was working, again, he kept his job at news radio.
or Fear Factor. I don't know.
Or
So
both.
The addiction didn't have a rock
Wasn't
bottom, but you just thought he was conflating.
When she was being nice. When she talks about the people she deals with video game addictions, it's all they fucking do. They have a serious, like, they're incels. That's all they know. It's all they do. Joe was an active member of society. He was probably working out 2 hours a day.
Had girlfriends.
Was getting laid. Was going out. He was an act. Okay, he was still performing stand up while doing news radio. I understand what he was saying. It's like when I kind of flippantly say I was an alcoholic. I wasn't.
Well, I think he disagrees with you,
Yeah, and he's allowed to.
but I think he may have done it to be like his own personal story.
Why don't you throw your opinion in here? You think he had a video game addiction?
I never heard him speak of it like this, but this one he was like, he almost seemed like he was
Pandering.
or bearing a soul. It's one or the other. He honestly thought he was addicted and it could have ruined his life, or he was just saying this to be like in the addiction conversation.
I think again, I think it helps for his podcast for him to do what he did. I'm not saying it in the super negative. Like, I'm not like, you fucking pandering piece of shit.
Well, I think that's what. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying it can come off better for the sake of the conversation. Like you said, to put yourself in there.
Addiction. Like
Yeah,
if he's an alcoholic or anything.
Yeah, I think he was conflating more than a little bit, and that's fine because I think it helped them get to some common ground. Because I think most people look at Joe as like a very grounded, hardworking, disciplined individual, which he probably is. He probably was then too. Like that's.
I mean, but she said one of the characteristics was if you do something to reward yourself, that fades. So maybe he noticed he was playing more video games but not having as much fun. I don't know.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, like Joe seems like he's addicted to archery and like he puts his whole self. So maybe he was addicted to video games. Like he gets so into these things, and nobody calls him on it, on being addicted to archery, because it seems like a good thing. It helps him hunt.
But hold on here, but
you got to dedicate hours to that, like hours.
That's fine,
a
but
day
you're
to
missing my point.
practicing.
Addiction to me is like you miss family events, you miss work, you can't really operate. That's addiction. Addiction isn't something. I'll put it to you this way: addiction to me isn't something that you yourself can just, without any help or intervention, just all of a sudden snap your fingers and go, I think I'm done with this. I think it can be a form of like borderline addiction, but I don't think you're fully addicted until you're fucking deep in the weeds.
And you're always addicted for that moment further, even if you're sober.
There you go. I think that's a good point too. I think if you're truly addicted, it never really goes away, ever.
Can I give you the definition of addiction? Because I think this will help. Addiction is an inability to stop using a substance or engaging in a behavior, even though it is causing psychological and physical harm. And so I guess that's the point. Is Joe's archery causing him mental or physical harm? No.
And I don't think the video game was either. That's my.
There can be good addictions.
There can be good
You can be
addictions.
addicted
Yes.
to exercise or whatever.
Like you could argue Stephen King was addicted to writing and cocaine.
And cigarettes and a lot of other things.
Sure, but one of them made him filthy rich, and
One of them maybe tore his marriage apart.
sure, but you could
that other side
listen.
of it.
50% of marriages end in divorce anyway, so I wouldn't exactly say the odds were on his side on that one, but I guess I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. My point though is like, if you're addicted to writing, it's not it's like you were talking about the positive addictions. Like no one sees a problem with that. Again, let's say you were making it to, you never missed your job. You were never late. You made it to all your family events. You were an upstanding citizen. And then you just spent every other waking moment writing. No one has a problem with that.
Right, but it's not the thing, right? Because you could be a guy who writes every day, misses family events, never gets anywhere, and then it's a bad addiction.
Well, no, then it's actually, but I think we just hit the nail on the head with your description is in mine, it's not hurting anyone. You're not emotionally distressed. In yours, you can't get on with life. So right?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's definitely the person. It's not the activity.
Sure.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. Silly.
She was saying that she felt that with addiction, whatever you do to reward yourself or to feel the pleasure, that over time fades. Like it never keeps hitting the same.
Well, that makes sense.
I feel like gambling has to be an exception to that, right?
Well, no, because you need to bet more.
No, but if you won,
stakes.
but I'm saying like if you eventually won like $5 million and your biggest win up to that point was like 100,000, would that not be the biggest?
No, you'd feel like you could have won 10 or something.
No, I think
maybe you might be right.
I think you
might
would
be
just
right.
take that money and then parlay it into like
Probably.
bigger bets.
Yeah.
That's the addiction part of it.
I know a guy that won 50 grand on Poker Stars, and I was like, "Good for you, dude." And then like I saw him a month later, and he was like, "Oh, I took like 5,000 out, and the rest is gone."
I had to try and
Yeah,
make
and I was
that,
like,
and
Jesus
that's the
Christ,
addiction.
yeah.
Like,
She asked Joe a difficult question, which you could answer. And as I'm about to ask, I'm thinking, do you remember the happy experience in your life?
Happiest.
Happiest experience in your life?
the happiest experience in
She
my
asked
life.
Joe, he said, I've had too many great experiences. I just can't answer this question.
Now that I believe, in his case, right? Like Joe's just like, I don't know. Think about it. He loves fighting. Imagine all the insane fights he's seen firsthand.
The birth of his children, that doesn't.
No,
come
that's
to
what I
mind.
thought.
I just,
thought that's what he was gonna say.
I didn't get there. I was just saying on that level alone, if he never had kids, just the amount of chill shit, like the amount of cool people he's been around.
Well,
Like
the first time doing a stadium, I
You
think would be happier
probably
than
can't-
any fight.
You probably
There you
can't
go.
remember it, but it's the day you were born. Like that's got to be the
That's your
best.
happiest day.
You can't remember, but that's got to be like you're coming out of the womb.
I doubt it. It might be your
you're-
worst
That's
day.
what you're saying. Your
Maybe
happiest day
it's the
was.
worst.
It could be the worst day. Yeah.
No, I think it was probably the birth of my child. I don't know. Like
No, she asked the question. It's sort of like,
But there you go. Hold on. You jumped down my throat being like, it'd probably be the birth of his kids. We just asked you, and you were like, well, I don't know. Maybe. Was that
Well,
the happiest day of your life? What was
or
the happiest day?
maybe
Answer now.
it was the day I was born, followed very closely by the birth of my child. I
Okay.
can't remember that. I'm just assuming.
I don't have the answer, Kumar.
no, I don't think it's an easy answer.
Maybe for some people, it's the day they leave this planet. Who knows, man?
Do you remember the biggest poker hand you ever won?
Not enough to remember.
I
think,
do.
I do too.
Pocket eights.
But do you remember the biggest one you ever lost? Because if you also don't remember that, then it doesn't matter.
Oh no, I've never lost like $1,000 in a hand or something, or even $500. Like, no, I'm not addicted to poker like that.
Oh, I don't think it has to be addicted. I just meant in general.
No,
like-
that's what we're talking about. Is
no,
the
but okay, go ahead.
the happiest moment, and she, I think, was trying to say, is what people are doing with addiction, She was trying to explain dopamine.
Do you
to
remember
Joe.
your happiest moment?
I was thinking about it, and I think is when I went to Cuba, sort of down the dumps and came back, and then won a comedy competition next week. And the next thing you know, I was at a gala and performed for like 700 people at Algonquin College. And prior to that, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do comedy. Like, I forgot I was in this contest, won it. Like, it was just like, it felt euphoric. Every time I've done a new milestone in comedy, it's hard to share, though. You know what I mean?
The day I got married, I'd like to throw that one into the mix.
You should have done
Too
that
late.
first.
Way too late. Way too late.
Have you ever
Funny
wanted
stuff,
Have
man.
you ever wanted something really bad, and then it not live up to the expectation?
Everything in life ever?
Yeah, I have yes.
No, nothing specific. These are questions she
just-
was posing.
But
to
I
Joe.
think everybody has that, right?
That's the diminishing returns on addiction. You start going to it like, I'm going to get this. It's like, this is not that. I'll do more, and then all of a sudden you're
Yeah, but I think that's
sucking dick.
there's,
in the
You don't
fucking
think
forest.
there's diminishing returns in everything.
You don't think everybody's had that before, where you want something really bad and then you?
I
get
said
it?
yes.
Oh.
I said everything in life.
Oh, okay.
It's very general. A guy had a nail go through his boot and was like in seething in pain, and they could not give him enough drugs till they finally knocked him out. And they found out it had never
Placebo, baby.
touched him.
Placebo.
Well, this is just when she should be open to any sort of things to cure addiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When no, everyone's brain's different. If you got the nail through the boot, you wouldn't freak out. And you're saying all those guys didn't even feel the pain because they're just happy
To be going home from the
to be
war.
going home.
It's an interesting idea. I think everybody's different, though, right? Like everybody has a different threshold.
Of course,
for pain.
everyone's different. So all medicine, all treatments have to be individual. Mm-hmm. We can't look at anything like this how people function.
I mean, some things they have a pretty good idea on the whole work for everybody. Judging by the,
like vaccine. Or no,
I was thinking like aspirin. For the most part, aspirin relieves people's headaches.
But
They do the test. They can see that
some
this
percentage
amount of
die
people.
on aspirin are like allergic to anything.
Yeah, fine. That's not my point. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about like certain drugs do work. I would assume.
But no
They're
one's
not all
Do you think
placebos.
someone's
Maybe they're placebos. I don't know. Maybe aspirin doesn't work at all.
addicted to aspirin. Like maybe it wouldn't work if you took it all the time. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure everything loses its viability as it goes.
Do you think it's a challenge for her that she's never done anything like drugs? Like she's never tried anything do you know what I mean?
I thought she said she did get addicted to things,
But not chemicals.
not chemicals. Gotcha.
I mean, what we're going through here is everyone gets addicted to something, whether it's a good or bad addiction is.
I would want my
affect your
addiction
life.
therapist to have been addicted to
I think so.
something. It doesn't have to be drugs, but something.
Addicted to exercise?
To know what it's like to be addicted to
to
something.
be compelled to
I think that's a
feel
weird
well,
flex,
yeah.
but whatever.
You do?
Yeah, I think if someone can help you, like
They don't have to have
It's true.
experience in it.
You know, I had an art teacher once, and he would never show us his own work. And I thought that was weird. Like,
really, as someone
You
who
could-
won't show your own work, you find that weird.
yeah, but I'm not teaching anybody art. Like, I'm not.
I'm sure his attitude is like, I don't have to show them jack shit.
Well, that's a shitty attitude, I think. I just think if you're going to teach somebody something, you should
I mean,
have
I
no problem showing the stuff you do that you're teaching them.
So how did he teach you art?
What do you mean? How did he
Like
teach
he never
us art?
drew a thing on the board. Never
No.
put pen to pencil.
No, it was a painting class.
pen to page,
and
sorry.
No, it was a lot of.
He never
just
put
him
one
talking.
brush stroke.
I mean, I'm sure I saw him paint a brush stroke,
Uh-huh.
but I don't even know like what his style of painting was. He could have been like a guy who painted stick figures, for all I know.
Did you get better from the class?
That was my own fault, but he was still a prick.
Well, you still hold that. She liked to tie some sort of spirituality in the recovery for addiction. Not God necessarily, but something almost mysticalized thinking. Because that's sort of what you gotta do, right? If you're going through therapy or something, like it's you, me, and whatever you can conjure up to be inspired by. Which brought up the AA guy, and the guy who started AA started getting to LSD, so they kicked him out. And they wanted to separate themselves from it. Isn't that interesting?
Shows you they're a sham too.
Well, or it's just disagreeableness, and you boots the trailblazer out, and they end up being right. She was just so much against any of these, anything, doing something to stop doing something she did not agree with.
Yeah, I mean, she should have said, I love that everybody's trying different stuff. This is the path I'm taking for my
Her concern was very
therapy.
simple. Her concern was that someone's going to listen to Joe Rogan and say, oh, I'm depressed. I'm going to go get some MDMA because I heard on Joe Rogan that therapeutically MDMA could fix me.
She thought that was a risk, yes.
Yeah, and then someone's going to go out and just do fucking bathtub MDMA and not... That's her concern.
Set and setting.
I don't think she necessarily is like as staunchly against it as you guys are putting out there.
Well, then why didn't she just explain it that way?
She was adamant. She thought it was way more valuable to do it the old-fashioned way and get more tools with you.
Yeah, but I also think that she wasn't like... I think she just wants people to get better. I don't think she gives a shit how they really do it.
I don't think it was nefarious.
But I think her fear was that, again, you shouldn't just be at home willy-nilly like, oh, I just take mushrooms every day because it's going to make me feel better.
Yeah, probably not. She didn't like the idea of microdosing. Like the way she said microdosing was very condescending.
Yeah, I think she was staunchly against it.
Well, she's entitled to her opinion, yeah.
Absolutely. She knows what she's doing. She's telling people.
Disagreeing with her opinion.
Yeah.
She said there was a tribe that just gets wasted once a month. Everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of like a get it out of you. The kids, everyone gets wasted. Do you think that sort of makes sense?
I mean, it's interesting. The idea of taking the mushrooms as like kids, where it just becomes this normal thing. It's interesting. I don't know about like kids getting drunk. That seems like a weird...
Well, everyone gets drunk, so it's like...
But was it getting drunk, or were they doing some sort of hallucinogenic...
No, I think it was alcohol. I think it was alcohol.
If it's alcohol, it's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea.
This is what get it out of the system. Well, she liked that idea in a control thing. And it was more like a tribal ceremony than
that takes us
individuals choosing to feed their addictions on their own time. It wasn't necessarily a binge thing. It was one day a month.
Who was the Marienko there? You know, he was on Rogan. He did the Something Key. That was his book about like them mixing drugs with all the
Brian
wine.
Marasco.
Yeah, exactly.
Mariasco.
Like it brings you back to that where it was all just a normal part of society. And then it became, tabooed here as they were trying to keep people dumb or like numb, I guess would be a better description. Wow.
Do you think it'd be cool
You guys are really into this.
if everyone did mushrooms like once every 4 months, like everyone?
I don't know.
It was mandated by like the government.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah,
better
you're
than
huge on
everyone getting
mandates,
drunk.
so...
Oh, no, of course.
Would that be would you be down with that mandate though, Kamar? If they said you have to take mushrooms once a month?
That's part of my Patreon mandate.
Well, you see again, so that, all right. We're not getting into it. I'm not going to get sucked in.
But you just did.
No. I
She would,
stopped it.
and that was my last notice. She wants to fight addiction the old-fashioned way through psychotherapy, but she's a psychiatrist, so I think she can prescribe drugs.
She can.
but she wants to do it through
she's a
therapy,
psychiatrist.
hard work, introspection.
No, hold on. She prescribes drugs.
She must.
She does.
Or she can.
She just didn't like the idea of those drugs being
Well, just because you can doesn't mean you liked it, right?
mushrooms.
Or acid or MDMA.
Acid, I guess.
Whatever drug you think will get you there.
Rate it.
Like Ibogaine. She wasn't sorry, just one sec. She wasn't listening to the Ibogaine. Joe was like, I don't think people want to do Ibogaine. It's like a punishment, but it ends up, rewiring some of your neural pathways. And I think she was stuck on this idea that people were going to want to like get off on doing Ibogaine.
She would not wrap her head around that. It was
She
not a
wouldn't wrap her
pleasant
head
experience
around it,
that you wouldn't
exactly.
want to do again.
Yeah.
Much like DMT.
Because I think she was conflating Ibogaine with something like mushrooms, you know what I mean? Where people would abuse it the same way they abuse acid or whatever.
She just wanted more research, but she was old-fashioned. Kick it, get over it. I think maybe she was in favor of in the immediate thing to help get over the addiction, but like 4 weeks later, we want you doing nothing.
Well, again,
Detox,
that's what
whatever.
Ibogaine is. You're not doing Ibogaine.
But she didn't want people to do Ibogaine. She was against, I felt everything.
Yeah, I just
She
don't
wanted
think she
more
knew
research.
anything about Ibogaine.
I just felt like it would have been more interesting 5 years ago, more research come out, but
Would you do the one where you have to puke ayahuasca?
Ibogaine and that I think are totally different though. That's like a head trip, right? Like you trip out and see stuff. Ibogaine, you just feel awful about what you've been doing. I think there's some euphoria in ayahuasca or trippiness. I don't think Ibogaine is at any time like.
Well, the way Kamar just described Ibogaine is my life, so I'm good there. As far as ayahuasca, no, I don't think I would.
If you were there?
The way they describe ayahuasca doesn't sound like euphoria. It sounds like a really fucking uber intense mushroom trip where you're. No?
Yeah, I think you cry and like
Yeah.
you go through all the emotions.
Yeah. Would you want to do that?
Of course.
You would.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Totally interesting. But like when this podcast first started, I was for sure like how much does it cost to Peru or whatever. But now I feel like it's so out there. It'd be so much easier if you went down to do that and got scammed by like some shitty shaman or whatever. You know what I mean? Like even the experience, you'd be like, is this the real thing or is this a? There's too much. You know too much about it now.
Did
than
you get
before.
raped while you were sleeping?
Oh, maybe.
Or tripping, rather.
Worst case scenario. But it seemed like 10 years ago, if you were going to do it, you'd find the witch doctor or whatever, shaman, and it'd be legit. I mean, I think you can do it in America now.
In some underground
Don't have to go to
place.
South America in the jungle. Like, because that'd be the other thing is like doing it, drinking some bad water or something, just getting
Yeah, there seems
sick
to be
jungle fever besides the drugs.
like somebody was telling the story where they were doing Ibogaine and they like went out to the outer part of like the camp to puke, and there was like a black panther there or something, and they thought they were tripping out, but there was really a black panther there. Was that something they told on Rogan, or did I hear that somewhere else?
I don't think I've ever heard
You've
that.
never heard that? Yeah.
That might be with Annie Letterman a month ago.
I don't think
on
so.
Rogan.
Anyways, but I mean, that would be, they're doing it in the jungle, so that would suck. You end up getting eaten by a panther because you're tripping out and you don't know to run away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately listened to this at normal speed, and it took a long time. It felt
This
like a
was
4
only
hour
a
podcast.
2-hour podcast.
I know, it felt like a 4 hour podcast.
And it's like Joe invited her on. Nobody knew who she was. And then he kind of just disagreed with her. the
Yeah,
whole
it
time.
was a really weird one. I just don't see where this came from.
Just weird flex on his part.
And it was 2 hours, so we know he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't into it.
No.
I don't think so. Rate it.
2.
1 1/4.
1.
Okay, that's an episode. If you made it this far, wow. Wow. We want to thank our sponsors first and foremost. Don't forget to go to betterhelp.com/JREE for 15% off your first month. And thank you to, who was it, Kamar? Bet DSI?
The DSI. Make some money.
Yeah, don't forget to check them out as well. There'll be a link in the description. We have a YouTube. It's youtube.com/JREE podcast. If you want to see what the fuck we look like, you can go over there, hit subscribe while you're there, maybe like something. It would help us out a great deal. The socials, Twitter and Instagram, both at JREE podcast. You can follow Kamar on Instagram.
Akbar Bar.
Yeah, I guess you can follow me on Instagram at Floydy, Floyd with 5 E's. And then, of course, there is a subreddit. It's r/JREE podcast. If you want to join in the chat, you can do so there. And the Patreon, patreon.com/JREE podcast. If you want to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. And for that $5, you will get the post shows, the show after the show where we shoot the shit. And you will also get the backlog of old episodes of This Won't Age Well, the show where we went back. We listened to old episodes and we did what we do here.
And mandates.
Get in before you're mandated. Do it of your own free will.
There you go. That's it. I have nothing else to say. Anyone else?
This post show's going to be fire.
Okay. There you have it. Have a great week. Enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes open.